Well, welcome to the Friday night hangout. Links will be over in at the bench, right? New topic. New topic. Friday night. Paste. Post. Okay, links are in at the bench. We got to go back over here. I want to check this, make sure that I've got the thing set up right. I think this thing should know what I want. Yeah, it's on. Okay, good. Let me see. I know I didn't press the yeah, okay. Live chat replay. Very good. Okay. So we got that. Let's see here. We got 7 watching. Come on over to the light come on over to Stunt Hangar. Click at the bench link and join us. Let me set this up here. More. Oh no, share. Because there's always somebody wanting to. Okay, I don't have to worry about that now. I got a set of stencils here. I'm making another set that I'm going to be delivering to. These are paint masks. You guys have seen me make them before. That I'm going to be delivering to somebody at Brodak. As long as I'm doing this, because I don't normally do it, contact me via Stun Hangar and tell me what you want, or call me, and we'll discuss the price of what you want, and I will deliver them at Brodak. As long as I don't get too many orders, I'll try to fill a few anyway. I don't want to get overrun where I can't make the order, can't fulfill the order. You got artwork or whatever, you're going to have to email it to me. If you want a special something or other, But we'll get you fixed up and I'll get them delivered to Brodak. Steve will be hosting the meetings. While I'm away. Because there's no way for me to. I think I can start it on my phone and transfer it over to Steve.
Evening, Robert.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I installed a Zoom app on my phone.
Oh, good.
So I think that, and I checked it. I didn't start this meeting with it. I think Monday I'll try to start the meeting with my phone.
Okay.
That way, if I can't get any internet service out there at Brodak, at least I know I'll be able to start it and hand it off to you. But
Okay.
but you got to be ready at 7 o'clock on Monday and Friday next week.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. Not next week. You got to be the week after.
The week after, yeah. Next Friday and the following Monday.
Correct. I got to thinking about your predicament with your airplane, your Spectre.
Yeah.
That wing's kind of heavy.
Yes, it is.
You have a good wing over there from that profile. Bring that profile back over and your motors and stuff, and we'll build you a Viper.
Oh, make the Viper profile.
Right, make the Viper profile into a full-bodied airplane.
Okay. Ooh, cool.
That wing came out of a 48-ounce PA-65 airplane.
Okay.
I mean,
Hi, Mike Lunke. Looks like you're in a nice place there.
I am currently with the kid, and
Wow.
we're out flying RC planes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he
Weather
got
looks
a.
nice.
It is. It was blowing 15 up until about an hour ago, and it finally calmed down. It's about perfect. It's about
All
perfect now.
right. Yeah, it
So
was blowing here today.
he had a
Yesterday,
new
we had absolutely no wind. Zero.
Sam's. Well, we haven't had good weather, and Sam's been chomping at the bit. I got him a new 52-inch extra 300 EXP at Perry back in April, and today's the first day we were able to get it out and maiden it. So,
Oh, nice.
and then of course we went to Joe Knoll, flew F2D combat at Joe Knoll.
Yeah, I
We're getting
saw
ready.
some of those posts you did.
We'll be after this RC outing. We need to focus on the F2D stuff again. We're going to Kansas City for a contest weekend after next. So next couple times we're out here, it'll be control line.
you going to Brodak?
No, can't, because we're going to be in KC the weekend that Brodak wraps up. So we're leaving for Kansas City like the Thursday of Brodak, or we got to be in Kansas City Thursday night. So
Uh,
no, got to skip it. He needs to practice for team trials in the Nats in combat. So we gotta go to KC.
that makes sense. Hey, look, Roy Lane came in as well.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Hey,
Looks like
Roy,
you're working on something back there behind you.
As a baby ringmaster I stuck in the ground.
Oh, a baby ringmaster.
what'd you do that for?
I got up overhead and decided to come down.
Did
I
you
couldn't run
ever
fast enough.
did you ever find your Fox fuel?
What's that?
Did
Yeah,
you ever?
sure did.
Okay. Because
Um,
Roy, I can make you whatever you need. If you're coming through Nashville again, I can make you a gallon, no problem.
yeah, brain dead on his name. Out of the Memphis Prop Busters Club.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep.
Lives in Somerville.
Okay. Yeah,
He
Somerville.
mixes up for a bunch of folks.
Okay. Well, that's Somerville. I go there pretty regular. I got a buddy who's got some property on the Buffalo over there in Somerville, Buffalo River.
Yeah.
What you working on, Bob? Looks like a stencil.
Yeah, I'm doing some stencils for people. That's why I made the announcement. If somebody needs stencils, they need to get a hold of me and I'll deliver them to Brodak. I don't make it a habit of doing these, but I'll do them.
Lewis Rankin was the guy's name.
Yeah, Lou Rankin.
Oh, Lou
Yep.
Rankin, yeah.
Lou's Brew.
Yep, I still have some of that.
Good guy. He was a Navy aircraft maintenance officer. I was an Air Force aircraft maintenance officer. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You
Well, he's
didn't hear
still
the
alive, isn't he?
Yeah, you didn't hear the story about Lou, myself, and Zerl
No,
and Millington. We went to. I used to fly at the Millington Air Base between the hobby shop and the church, and back in the 70s. And I said, Lou, is that circle still there? She said, no, it's all changed. So well, let's go look at it. So we went to look at it, and everything's changed. The church is gone, the hobby shop's gone, the Quonset huts are gone. It's all civilian now, but
Huh.
they still got shore patrol. So Lou Rankin, myself, and Zerl are out in the field looking for the square pad that we used to fly on, digging around in the field. And shore patrol was going up and down the way. And you know, Lou says, "I bet them guys are thinking them dirty old guys out there in that field looking for something again." Probably happens a lot. But I said, "Okay, well, great." So we took off, and the church had moved a little bit. And I said, "Well, let's stop in the church." So them guys kind of stayed in the parking lot in the car or whatever, and I went inside, and there was a lieutenant commander in there, a chaplain, and I was going to ask him, "Do you know where the square pad was?" And I looked at him and said, forget it. You ain't old enough. And I got out of there. He was a super young kid.
everything on the north side of the base now is civilian.
There is no flight line like we knew it.
They've got the Aero Club, and they've got a contractor to keep all the pilot guys current.
Were you at Millington?
No,
You
I
were?
was, no, I was Air Force, but
No.
I go out there now to get all my prescriptions.
You would have enjoyed talking to John. He was Air Force, the B-52s, Strategic Air Command BB stacker.
In my first 4 years, I turned wrenches, did the landing gear and flight controls on the bombers and tankers. A lot of fun.
I was in AMS, and that's well, you know. Oh no, you don't know. You're Air Force. That's structural mechanic. But
Yeah,
they ended up putting me in as a painter of gray.
Hmm.
God, what a pain in the ass.
Last battery, don't crash.
Uh-oh.
And off he goes to do the whoop de whoops and the 3D stuff that even Dad can't do.
Hmm.
I can't fly half as well as he can. RC anyway. I want to show you guys something. This is our RC field. You can see it's very nicely manicured. This is where we fly control line off here on the side. I mowed this, and
Man.
look at that now. 3 weeks ago I mowed that as we came out to practice for Joe Null. I have to mow again and knock all that down for us to start practicing again.
Hmm.
When nobody's here, we fly right out on the runway. We go right out in the nice grass out there, and they don't.
There you
Nobody
go.
nobody says anything about it. Even when there's guys here, they'll let us fly out there because they want to watch us fly combat. They're pretty cool to us out here. It's a good club. Best thing is it's free, no dues.
Good price.
Yeah, great price. Great price.
Well, here's these Fridays that don't do very well again.
I got a notification on my phone that Stunt Hangar was live Zoom meeting. I was like, well, I'll just try and see if I can get in. I didn't think I'd have enough bars to get in out here, but it's working pretty good.
Yeah, it's working pretty good. So we got Phil Bailey, we got Bob Hunt. Yeah, we're trickling in.
All men do, they trickle.
Oh, boo hiss.
Yeah, I'll
When I
be your
start
setup man anytime, Bob.
When I start trickling, I go see the doc.
You're not old enough.
Oh, that's just bad. I didn't say it wasn't true. I just said it's bad.
Yeah. The shot was there. I took
Lord.
it.
Mhm.
There you go.
I just finished putting the leading edges on your flap, Steve.
Oh, cool.
Are you sheeting them and everything, Bob?
I'm sorry.
Are you sheeting them and everything?
Yeah, they're sheeted. They got trailing edges on already. Now they have leading edges on. Tomorrow I'll carve those in and then I'll put the bevel in and send them off and you guys can fit them up.
Sweet.
It's going to cost you a lunch at McAllister's.
Yeah, I
Oh.
heard.
Well, then that's the deal. Oh, Lordy.
Well, Bob says the McAllister's in Muncie's the best one ever.
That's what people say.
I've been to one here, it wasn't that great, but
What?
McAllister's.
McAllister, what? What did I say in Muncie?
That
McAllister's
restaurant,
Deli
it's a sandwich shop. It's like a
sandwich
deli.
shop.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
apparently they're turnkey operations and some of them are better than others. And apparently that one's pretty good. I think it is.
Yeah.
Went there, Rick Huff and Sarah Marie and Rick Campbell and I went there and Joel Costantino, I think every day last year.
Yeah, we got them
Man.
here in Tennessee. They got a like a pork jowl sandwich or something that's really good.
They got a lot of sandwiches that are really good.
Yeah, but there's a pork jowl sandwich that they have. That's the one I always get.
I like pastrami. I'm a New York, New York, New Jersey kid. Jersey.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're a Jersey kid? Oh, my goodness.
Jersey kid. Yeah, I fish with women's and I go out with noises.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where the best ice cream is in Muncie, and it ain't Dairy Queen, and it ain't.
Nope.
It's
none of those
Ivanhoe's.
flavors.
Ivanhoe's.
I haven't heard.
No, I don't know what the name of it is. But it's by the Super 8 Motel and the golf course and the batting cage and miniature golf course.
Yeah, it's next to a pizza place.
Right. Well, I don't know about that either. Yeah, that's right. It's in that little shopping center. That is great ice cream.
Ivanhoe's is too. They got more different things on the menu than I've ever seen anywhere in my life at an ice cream place. Like 100 different things.
Hmm.
But it's a little bit of a hike. You have to go, I guess, down McGalliard and then go outside of town, almost where you go down to Comac Station, and you make a right and you go up about 5 or 6 miles and it's up there.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think Camac Station was all that it cracked up to be. I mean,
No, it's not that great. I like the chocolate mousse better.
Yeah. There's John Skukalek.
Landy.
How you doing, John?
Good, good. How are you? Did you crash an airplane, Steve?
Golly, word gets around.
well, you put it out on the internet. What do you expect?
What did you crash?
Which one was
The
it?
Green Monster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got a
What'd you
little, it was no wind. And I'm trying to back up doing outside loop. And I just about tripped over my own feet. Fall, didn't fall, but when I'm going back, my arm goes up and it's inverted. You know what happens?
Well, I got you beat. I did fall. this week. I was out test
Oh
flying.
no, you actually
Yeah,
fell?
I fell hard. I was out.
Flying?
Huh?
Flying?
Yeah, I was
Oh
out test
no.
flying. I was out test flying Tom Huff's socket to me. The airplane socket to me. Um, and it was the vectored thrust, like his brother used it. They had vectored thrust. The airplane flies great until the motor stops, and then it glides like a Packard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so you're
And
going backwards,
and I'm trying
trying
to
to
get
keep
it back, and I like to land right over by the box, and I'm trying to whip it around, and I'm one of these Skechers. So don't ever wear Skechers. Those things, they're easy to get into, but they
yeah,
roll over easy. And I
right.
started running backwards, and I tripped and fell, and I hit my head hard,
Ooh.
real hard.
Well,
I,
Did
Bob,
you save the airplane?
yeah, the airplane's fine.
this must be the week for people falling, Bob, because I fell in my kitchen 2 days ago.
Oh man,
I tripped over the Roomba when I was walking between the kitchen island and the table, and on the way down, I hit my shoulder on the corner of the marble. Then I hit
Ooh.
my leg on the table, and then I hit my head on the floor.
oh my God.
Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
that's
like,
how David Adamson died. He got out of the shower, slipped, and hit the vanity with his head and died.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, and let me tell you, my 57-year-old body didn't like it very much, man. I'm still feeling it.
57. 57. Is he wet? He's still wet behind the ears.
Yeah, I knew you were
Yeah.
gonna say that, but this one's been rode hard, man. So,
57.
all right, guys, we're done flying. We're gonna pack up and get out of here and get some dinner. Just wanted to check in with you.
Good
All right.
night.
Right.
Looks like you got an excellent place to fly.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice field. It is. It's a really good field. Like I said, Sammy maidened this one today. That's an extreme flight extra EXP. And then we had the this is an Edge, Skywing Edge, 52-inch, and then the old standby, the Edge 540 foamy.
Hmm.
That
Man, I
540
think he
is a lot
flew.
of fun.
Looks like he flew about 17 batteries here today, I think. So
Wow.
I tried to fly that today, but it's got a pull system on the elevator, and the cables are all stretched out. So I wasn't able to. First time I flew it, I had no elevator.
Hmm.
it was pretty hairy. But y'all have fun at Brodax if I don't see you from there. And we'll check in from Kansas City if I can. But y'all take care, man. See you. Bye.
All
All right.
right.
Take care. Good to see you.
Dave, listening to your story, the most amazing part of your story to me was you started it out by saying no wind.
Yep. That's what got me. Well, I was trying to do the oh, well, actually, I believe it's called the Bob Hunt Shuffle. That's I
Bob, you are never
I
going to live that
wasn't
one
too
down.
coordinated.
It took me years to live down the ballerina Bob moniker.
Acting.
Hey, Ed's back.
Ed's
Yeah.
here.
I
What
figured I
happened,
better. I'm sitting here with my foot in a bucket of Epsom salt.
Did you fall?
Uh-oh.
Did you fall?
Oh no, it's post surgery. Even
Oh,
though it
'cause,
was 7.5 months ago,
oh man,
soaking it at night.
you
So
sound like a bunch of old men.
We are a bunch of old men.
You've been sharing
Huh.
stories of falling, Ed. That's why I asked if you fell.
yeah, no, I'm trying to keep from falling. So I'm making progress, but it's not easy.
Wow.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I'm looking at getting another golf cart for Brodak. Just I'm trying not to use one, but I don't know. I might have to make sure
That's
I
a
got
lot of
one
walking,
available.
Ed.
Yeah.
Besides, if you get one, I can bum a ride once in a while.
Oh,
3,
Yep.
4.
Bob, what day are you going to get there?
Monday.
I think I get there. I get there
I'm
Monday,
coming
but
out
it'll be
with
Monday
Rick. I'm coming
afternoon.
out with Rick Campbell, and we're both going to fly Classic. I got a couple other things to deliver. I was supposed to deliver something to you, but that kind of
Yeah,
changed.
I still might
I've
get
got
that wing.
I got a bunch of other things to deliver, and I got a few things I want to get rid of. I got some really nice engines and tanks and all kinds of stuff, all brand new. But I'm going to get there on Monday, practice if there's any space available with, and then fly Classic on Tuesday, and then leave Tuesday night to come home because Rick, he has to get here, stay overnight, and then Wednesday he has to drive back up to New Hampshire, and then he has a gig on Thursday night. He's a musician.
Yeah, he's still playing. Cool
Oh
deal.
yeah, he plays great. Fantastic musician.
Yeah,
Bob,
we're
I'm
gonna
supposed to bring an
Berkeley
airplane.
graduate.
we're gonna come up Monday. Buddy Barbie's riding up with me. We're gonna come up Monday and be there Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm leaving Thursday to come home. Yeah, leaving Thursday morning to come, Thursday at noon to come home. So we'll be up there for a few days. See
Ah,
what's
good.
happening.
I'll see you early in the week.
Yeah.
I know for
We'll
sure
come up-
Wednesday I won't be there, possibly neither Tuesday. So,
Hmm.
but I'm going to pop in on a Saturday and a Sunday and just start saying hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Is anybody
always
going
good
to
to see
fly
you.
Denny's new Super Senior contest?
I'm not old enough.
What I
Yeah, you
guess
got to
we
be
didn't know what it was
75.
scheduled.
You got to be 75. Okay.
I'm
When
not
is
quite
it
old
scheduled?
enough for that yet. It's
What did you
it's
say,
Tuesday,
Bob?
I believe.
What
I
day?
believe it's on the schedule for Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It'll be the inaugural event of
No,
that.
no, wait a minute.
I
Wait a
don't know
minute.
what day
Danny's
it's
not
on,
getting
though.
there.
Everybody talk at
Danny's
once.
not getting there till Wednesday, so it can't be Tuesday. Must be Thursday.
Yeah, I won't be there then. I wanted to fly in it and support it, but again, I'm coming out with Rick, and Rick has to be back. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be bringing up that swivel chair that somebody recommended from the whatchamacallit, fishing place, and that it's called Blackout. Adjustable legs,
Yeah.
set to height. The legs go nice and wide, and 360 spin. So I'll bring it in case I try it out or somebody else wants to need it.
what happens if you have to run backwards to get tension?
You're in a heap of trouble, boy.
Yep. Yeah, you're SOL. But
Interesting note. Interesting note. On a glow motor with spinning a normal rotation prop, when you hit your own turbulence, which way does the airplane go?
towards you,
Towards you. What
Yeah.
happens when you spin a reverse pitch prop and it hits
away from you.
goes away from you?
Hmm.
Interesting.
And you wonder why I fly, and people wonder why I fly reverse pitch props on electrics.
Just
Bob,
another.
what does yours do? You got two props, one
Huh?
spin in each direction. You have two
on
props,
the
one
twin,
spin
yeah, yeah, and then you never know which way it's going to go. I had a long talk this morning with Lucian Miller out at Innovative,
Yeah.
Innovative designs, yeah.
and one of I had a whole bunch of questions about motors. He has a brand new motor that's not even on their website yet. Something that's going to really benefit me. I don't know if it'll benefit anybody else. It's a 23 millimeter motor, but it's very low kV. And
Oh.
Hmm?
Oh.
I
Hey, there's Howard's
so
iPhone.
anyway,
Hey, Howard, how are you, buddy?
one of the things I asked him was, I said, I'm having a hard time finding a good collet that I really like. The Great Plains, or what they call it, the E-flights work pretty good, but the old Hyperions I thought were much better and longer shafts, but they're not making them anymore. You can't get them. And he cut me off mid-sentence and said, "Don't worry about it. I've just designed a whole new line of adapters, collet adapters with longer shafts and different kinds of attachment for the spinner, whether it be a 3 millimeter tap in the front or using a union nut in a quarter 28. So there's a whole bunch of new collet adapters coming out.
That'll be nice.
From whom?
I'm sorry.
From whom? I'm sorry, I got here
Oh
late.
yeah, it was Innovative, Lucian
Oh,
at Innovative, badass.
What? Bueno. And he has a low kV motor.
23 millimeter, 2320, 580 or something.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try.
Well, I'm surprised at some of the KVs being so low and running so well. But a lot to learn. A lot yet to learn.
Maybe a good success system.
I talked to Charles Carter the other day, and he has the notion of using 4 21-700s in, that's cells, in a big stunt plane instead of 6 cells.
Wow.
Can that
Beats me. You're the technician.
wouldn't that be too much current for the speed controller?
Probably.
It's going to be a lot of current, and it's going to kill the cells pretty quick.
Have you tried
I don't
those
mean kill.
three 30 amp mola cells? The new 30 amp Li-ions. Have you tried those?
I got 100 of them.
I guess you have then. How do you like them?
I haven't tried them.
Well, I understand you can charge them at more than 1C, right?
That's what I hear. Yeah.
And they run cooler too, right?
They do if you don't run them down too far, then the internal resistance goes up.
Are those 18650s, Howard?
Yeah. 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 We had this battery binge a while back, and everybody on the West Coast bought 100 of those things at like $5 a piece, and now they're on sale for $4. You only have to buy one to get it at $4.
Well, where do you get the darn things?
At the 18650 store. They have them now
brother.
for $4.
Well,
That's what it's called, the 18650 store?
That's what it's called.
Well, we don't. Okay.
Rick Huff's making me a few packs with the 30 amp cells. So I'll give them a try here pretty quick.
Groovy.
I'll try to call them, I guess, Monday. Because I'm sure
Hey,
they'll be
Wayne
there.
Rice gave us a $20 super chat. Thank you, Wayne.
Bob, is that the cells you're talking about? You were telling me about get a 5-cell 2300 pack.
I was telling you about that.
Yeah, you said you suggested I try it in the Nobler 5-cell 2300 pack because they're lighter.
No, not a 5-cell 5-cell 2200.
2200.
Yeah, that's not a live ion. That's a live poly. That's a thunder power. That works good in the smaller airplanes.
Hey, Howard, those are 3500 milliamp.
Live poly.
3,000.
Here, they got them right here for 3500 milliamp.
Wow.
18650s
2200.
for $399 each.
Is that the P30?
P30. Let's see. It says Molacell M35A 18650, 3500 milliamp, 10 amp battery, 10A battery.
No, that'd be something else.
Okay.
That's too puny. Lots of capacity and won't put it out very fast. Look for the P30 is the part number. Same price.
P30.
Yeah, I found the info on the fly-in. The senior challenge is Friday at 7:45 a.m.
By Friday, all the seniors will be asleep.
That's right.
Yeah, I would think.
Okay, 30 amp. Okay.
Must be 75 years or older.
Well, how did I qualify? That's for sure.
qualify for that, but not for the 745.
Yeah. I don't comprehend the 745. Well, yeah, I do. I'm going to fly in the morning at 8 o'clock, but anyway. Bob, let me make sure I got this right. Thunder Power Lipoly 2200 milliamp 5 cells.
Yep. It's one of the 25C batteries.
25C. All right.
Thunder Power.
I think it's called a Pro Light. Yeah, Thunder Power.
Okay. Thunder Power.
I got those in the Caprice, and I had them in the USA Alma, so I sold it. But they work great. Robbie has those. He's running one of those in the twin, the little twin of his, with the two 2310s in it, and they're great.
Wow, we'll give it a try then. Everything I'm running is coming from Thunder. Everything, all the batteries I've got are Thunder Power.
And I'm running a 11.5 reverse pitch badass prop on it, so it's a lot of prop for,
11.5. It is a lot of prop.
Works great.
I'll have to try that. Have to order a couple of them and try it. Maybe they'll have a sale for 4th of July.
I just put a little fixed trim on one of the flat that when I was tweaking it, I broke the basswood piece cracked at the root that I put the horn into, and I had to go in and notch that out, put some epoxy in there. Then I had to put some superfill on it and sand it out and prime it and paint it. And tomorrow I'm going to clear it and put that blender on it so you never see the where it was cleared. Get the airplane ready for the season.
Blender.
Yeah, there's for spot repairs and things like that, so you don't see where the clear goes. If you don't use the blender, you'll see where the patched in or spotted in clear. You can actually see it at different angles if you look at it. If you use that blender, it just flows out and you can't see it.
What kind of paint?
I'm using the I don't know what the brand is. It's, Joel puts it on, but it's one of the catalyzed polyesters. Everybody calls it polyurethane.
Polyester.
Polyester.
Wear a suit.
Oh, well, yeah. It's going to take me about 2 seconds. I'll put on my air-fed, my respirator, charcoal respirator, shoot it, and get the heck out of the shop. It'll take me about 2 seconds. It's only a little tiny spot.
Blender.
Yeah, but that stuff is some kind of nasty to your lungs.
No, I know. But I'm not gonna do that. I can actually put it on without even breathing.
Yeah.
Little tiny spot.
Hold your breath.
It'll take me 1 second to shoot that.
After using that stuff, I noticed that I was meowing when breathing. And so I went and got a lung test, which was kind of interesting. And they said, "You're okay."
Yeah.
Well, it's number 3 on the toxicity scale. It has toluene diisocyanate and light stable aliphatic isocyanates, which means
I can't even.
If you're sensitized to it, it can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wear a pressurized mask, actually.
Yep.
I do that someday.
Joel has, he does Barrett Jackson level restorations. He's got a professional spray booth and, a fan that would suck the car across the garage, the exhaust. So as soon as you shoot it, it's gone,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, then your neighbors get to enjoy the fumes.
Yeah, all the trees behind his shop are all dead.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I used to love, I had custom cars and had them all painted up. Had the guy that Orville Shepherd used to paint them for me. We won a bunch of car shows, but I tell you what I discovered from a bunch of car shows. If you're not fixing them up to sell them, you're wasting your time because them little trophies don't pay for nothing.
That's what you like to do.
Yeah.
Remember,
well, I enjoyed it.
There's only one hobby: spending money.
Spending money. That's right. And I spent a bunch. my wife had to sit me down and say, we got to come to an understanding here. This car is getting a bit expensive. Yeah, she was right. Big block motors don't come cheap.
You been out flying much, Roy?
I tried the other day, but I couldn't get anything to run. I had a combination of a new pack of batteries, but I had a bad battery. And then got some old glow plugs. So I'm going to the store tomorrow and get all new. But I got them running tonight just
You
for
gonna
the
buy
meeting.
glow plug? You gonna buy glow plugs tomorrow?
Yeah,
Get a mortgage on your house.
I
Yeah,
know.
ain't that a truth?
$11.65 a piece here at Mid South Hobbies.
Yeah.
But,
Remember when they were like $1.49 a piece?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I
And the
remember when
great
they
big
were
ones,
49 cents a piece
Wow.
in the hobby shop.
I got a bunch of them from the Granderson estate. I might take them for the Nats and sell them.
Distribute them.
I need to get to the Nats and catch you early, Howard, because I need a few. I'm still flying. I was looking down there today. I've still got a half a dozen old timers that are glow motors, and I've got 3 classics that are glow motors, and my Impact is still a glow motor. So I just don't want to convert the darn thing. It's got a 40 in it and it's flying fine. I don't want to mess with it.
I'll take all your bad glow plugs. I use them for tip weight.
I got a guy here that takes them and so help me, puts a pin in them and straightens them out, fixes them, and reuses the darn things.
Scarinzi used to do that.
Lord, I can believe that is Scarinzi. I love that man, but he was
The Jack
to have
Benny
the
is
money.
stunt.
You would never know that man had as much money as he had because he was an absolute tightwad.
That's why I had that
But
much
he was
money.
such a great guy. That's right. But when he showed up at Tucson, driving a brand new Cadillac and put a stick in the ground with a can on it, a little sign, help a destitute modeler get home. I said, yeah, right. Okay. Anybody drive that car ain't destitute. The dang tires on that thing, $500 a piece. Jeez.
He was funny.
He was a great guy, though.
He really was.
He came to Huntersville one time, and I was down there flying. Can't remember what I was flying, but anyway, I was flying something, and I was having some problems with it. And Larry, Larry, he hand on his chin over, just thinking. And I finally came in to sit down and eat lunch. He said, "I got a question." He's still rubbing his chin. "I got a question for you." I said, "What's that, Larry?" He said, "Why don't you straighten that, whatever it was? I don't remember. Why don't you do this and do it like they actually flew those full things?" Do what? So it sounded crazy to me, but it's Larry Scarinzi. So I went out and tried it and just in practice between during lunch, just between rounds, tried it and came back and it flew so much better. I went from 3rd place to 1st place. I said, "Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that."
Gary
Oh.
Sinclair says he's at the lake and he'd see us Monday. Wondering where he was at.
Well, Larry, have a great weekend, buddy.
Gary Sinclair.
Gary Sinclair. Oh, okay, yeah.
Larry would appreciate this because it has a different meaning here. It's to help a destitute modeler get home.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's bad.
And you notice he has on a flannel shirt, and everybody at the
Yep.
funeral brought a flannel shirt to wear.
Yeah, I can
He would have
believe
loved
that.
that.
That's Larry.
That's Larry. He would have really appreciated that.
Yeah. He had I've never seen his, you name it, but when I was getting into really flying stunt, a guy here flew a you name it, and that's just he was known for his you name it, and I don't know, when I think of learning stunt, that airplane comes to mind. I just can't help it.
Yeah.
It's just a neat
Well,
airplane.
it's actually now the Trident because that's the winning name of the
Oh yeah.
contest.
Yeah, I remember that, but Bob had you name it on his, so you know. there was Trident, and then Adam Misson came up with another name. I can't remember.
Cygnus.
Cygnus. I thought about putting all three names on it.
Do I get special credit for remembering that name?
Yeah, you always have a great memory. Man, you always have a great memory. I don't know. You can remember what year things happened. I can't even remember that they happened.
But I can't remember what I had for dinner. So, you know.
Well, you know, we all have our quirks.
I actually had a memory test a couple days ago, which I somehow passed. The doctor said you passed the test. It wasn't very tough, I guess.
Well, I'd
They
be
said,
scared
"What's
to
your name,
take one.
Howard?" You know.
Yeah, we didn't get any tough ones like that.
Well, I passed a test the other week that I was worried about because I had not studied for. Had to get my driver's license renewed. And I went in there, and I have always had a mental block when I go to take a driver's license test. Anybody know what this means on a driver's license test? Assigned, it looks like that.
Like what? I can't even see it.
It's an
Railroad?
X.
Yeah,
It's a railroad crossing.
crossing.
It's
Oh,
a railroad crossing. Well, I always blank out on that. I can never come up with it. I've always had to tell them choo choo.
that's the judges. Judges hold their fingers up like that to me after I do a square eight. I mean, an overhead eight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
See, I missed
it means railroad. It means railroad.
They don't do this, Howard. Howard, they do this.
Well, anyway, I told them, I always had to tell them choo choo, and this time they didn't have it on the test, so I
How
thought that
come
was
you're
kind of
taking a
interesting.
test? They don't test you here in Missouri. You just pay the
They
money.
didn't test us here this time, but it's the first time I've ever gone for renewal and didn't
Wow.
have to be tested. But I was giving up my CDL.
Yeah.
I had to wait in the car 2 hours in the heat to get in. And everybody was doing it. The line was 40 deep. I mean, it was ridiculous.
I
So
gave
we're
up
waiting in
my
our cars.
CDL and kept the chauffeur's license. Did you keep that?
No, I didn't keep any of it.
Class E?
No, I didn't keep any. We don't. My CDL was my chauffeur's license. In North Carolina, it's a little different. But anyway, I just didn't. I'm not going to drive a truck again. I'm done with all that crap. 70 years old. I think it's time I finally elected to just drive a car.
What are you going to
But,
do with all those Dave Dudley 8-tracks?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, but no, they had the thing got me was I waited through all that in the heat and everything, and another hour inside in the air conditioning to finally get the full thing. It took me 5 minutes to get the license, and I got home. I was so happy that I had my license, and I got home and I realized I got to go back. My wife says, "Why?" I said, "She took my motorcycle endorsement too. I didn't want to lose that. I don't want to drive trucks anymore. I still want to be able to ride a bike."
You might have to take another test now.
No, I went back and told the lady that was at the window, the head. She's one of the ones that actually works for the state. The rest of them are just contractors. And she had me go in. First one, it was free. She had me go in, and the girl just wanted to see the paper that they give you, a piece of paper with your picture on it, and that's supposed to serve as your driver's license until you get your driver's license. Well, I didn't have a problem with that because my driver's license don't run out till June the 8th, so I'm fine.
Wow.
But she went in and just redid me another driver's license. Of course, it cost me another $27.
Yeah.
But
I used to administer driver's licenses. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Motorcycle
Lord.
license.
Yeah. I remember when you used to do the test for them.
11 years. Four classes, 15-hour classes a week.
Oh, Lord.
He won't leave me alone. Is he in here with you?
He's been up in my lap. My dog's driving my wife crazy.
He comes in and goes, "Ooh, ooh, ooh."
Is it 8:30? Yeah, it's 8:50. Guys, I have to go take the dog for a walk. I'll be back in a few minutes. Swanee, I've got the only dog I've ever seen that can tell time. At 8:30, I don't care if it's dark or bright out. He knows it's time to go wee. Be back in a few minutes.
He could always leave you a present.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather him come get me. Bob, don't leave. Y'all stick around. Don't nobody leave. I'll be back in a few minutes, about 15 minutes.
We had a dog my father named him Hardware because every time he said you want to go out, he made a bolt for the door.
Mhm.
That's about how everybody else reacted to that joke too.
Yeah, I like that. That was good. That was a good one. I like.
Hey, Bob, I heard that you used to play piano by ear.
Yeah, and I got calluses too. Play guitar by ear. I don't play guitar.
But now
I
you
played
use your
organ. I
hands.
played organ. I played violin. I played trombone. I played drums. None of them very well.
Has anyone noticed that the Oki Air website is not there anymore? It's just doesn't come up.
My parents bought me a cello. I tried to blow into it.
I know nothing about Oki Air. I get calls all the time thinking that it's still involved with Stunt Hangar. I said, no.
Oh, no, not for a long time.
I got a bunch of stuff from him a couple of weeks ago.
I tried to go to his website and I said, it says this site can't be reached.
Same with Randy Smith's site.
Well, Randy, we know Randy stopped, right?
Yeah.
Hadn't heard anything about Russ.
Have you heard anything about the stunt team trials?
No.
He was going to put on the stunt team trials. He did a great job last time.
Russ O'Neill?
Yeah, the Oki Air guy. He put on the what year was that? 2019 team trial.
Oh, where was that?
Tulsa.
Tulsa. Okay. Yeah, I think that's where he's headquartered, where he is.
Well, I think iPad would know about it, but he's not on tonight.
Oh, no, he's not.
Didn't you put on a big feed, Howard? A really nice feed down there?
I don't remember.
So you failed that memory test.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could well have done so. I remember eating. There's a restaurant there called Oklahoma Joe's. And Joe Gilbert had never been there.
Really?
Yeah.
You think if they'd named the place after him, he would have at least gone there.
You think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
Hello, John Miller.
How you doing?
Hey, that beard's growing out real good now, isn't it?
Yeah, it just keeps growing and coming back. I cut it off, it comes back.
Huh.
I don't know what I'm feeding it, but
I'm fixing
I'm getting ready to shave off the mustache finally.
oh no, I won't recognize you.
Huh.
Hey, were your ears burning an hour or so ago, Bob?
What's that?
Were your ears burning an hour or so ago?
No, why?
Oh, I was talking about you on the forum.
To
who? Ken Culbertson.
Oh, yeah.
He was asked the question about that the optimal nacelle length on twins with electric power, basically.
Well, we found out that the answer to that is as short as possible.
Oh.
See, and I told him I didn't know that anybody would know would be you. But I said that most twins today have been designed around IC. So there you had a limitation. You had to have enough room for the engine and the gas tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a different setup. The shorter we make the nacelles, every time we make them shorter, in new airplanes, they fly better.
Oh.
That makes sense, really, when you think about it.
It does?
Yes.
Why is that?
Gets the
Center
it
of mass
reduces
closer
the
to
moment arm.
center
It
of
reduces
gravity.
moment arm on precession, on prop effects. It brings the thrust closer to the wing itself, and
Yeah,
does
to the
nice
balance
things.
point. That's what we find. We think it is. You bring the
Yeah.
thrust, center of the thrust closer to the balance point. It just makes them turn better. They lock better. They track better. They do everything better. They're easier to turn.
And they come out of a turn. They lock, like you said. They lock
Yeah, they
better.
lock incredibly well now.
And I think you get more of the effect of having the larger prop discs by having them closer to the leading edge.
Now here's an interesting thing. Oh, Rick Huff, had the vectored thrust on that twin last year at the Nationals.
Yeah.
And he has vectored thrust also on single motor airplanes, where it's about 10 inches north of the wing and 10 degrees of movement up and 10 degrees down. He says it works great on the single motor airplanes that far forward, but it doesn't seem to have much of an effect on the twins.
Oh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It does
Interesting.
help the transition in round stuff. It really does help you kiss at an intersection and turn on a point, transition on a point. I'm not sure I'm going to be putting vector thrust in any of my twins for that reason. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, you can add a lot of weight with
Yeah, you can, I guess. I mean, what he did, Robbie suggested it. He wanted to retrofit the twin with vector thrust, and of course he couldn't get into the bell crank or anything or add anything into the airplane because it was all done. So Robbie said, well, "Why don't you just put a control horn on the bottom of the flap, right behind the nacelle, and run a push rod through the nacelle and hook it up to the vector thrust horn, and
Yeah.
it worked perfect."
Yeah. it would.
Wow.
Kid's too smart for his own good.
that one, the apple rolled a little bit of ways away from the tree, huh?
Well, he's a lot smarter than I am.
I'm just teasing with you, Bob. Come on.
That's okay. He's a lot smarter than I am.
That's why he's saving all that wood at your house, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. That's his inheritance.
Right. Well, I suggested to Ken, see, he's running a canard and then flaps and then an elevator.
Yeah, it's a different setup.
Yeah, and I suggested he consider at least running tests on locking the flaps out. Just going with the canard.
I don't know if that's going to work or not. You need the boost lift, especially on a heavier airplane. You're going to need the lift.
Yeah, but you're getting a boost of lift with that canard in front.
And there's not much area.
Hmm.
I think if anything, it could make the airplane stall quicker. If it turns it quicker and you don't have the lift, it's going to stall. It's heavy.
Well, unless you've got a wing configured to the point where it's so far away from the stall that it just flies.
Well, if you could build something light enough, yeah, I'm sure that would work. Walt Williamson had an airplane. You probably remember it, the Witchaway.
Yeah.
He had an airplane that was like that, no flaps, had twin booms that went fore and aft of the wing, and he had a canard out in front and an elevator in the back. And I never actually saw the airplane fly or knew of anyone who actually flew it, but it was an interesting concept.
Well, the old Doc Holliday, he had one of those.
Did he?
Yeah. And he seemed to enjoy flying it. I don't know if we could actually get a report on it, but from what I remember from his posts back in the time, he liked it. I remember your practice foray into canard stutters. You were pretty well sure that you didn't need the flap.
Well, I was building real light airplanes, too. They weren't competition stunners either. You know,
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
really light little half A size airplanes. You know,
right, right.
but we were bitten with that bug. The whole family's been infested with that canard bug, and you know, every now and then it's like well, malaria. It comes back. You know.
Well, what was the guy's name that went from model airplanes to major airplane designer and won the
Rutan.
Rutan? That's the guy's name.
There's
Yeah.
iPad. You can ask him about the team trials, Howard.
Yeah. What about team trials?
No, nothing. I know Russ put in a bid,
Yeah.
I think's what you call it, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's gotta be the Bob knows about that. They got to get all those 12 people together to decide what they want to do, I think.
Yeah, I'm no longer on the
Oh,
FAI
I thought you were.
committee,
Okay. Fair enough. I thought you were.
but Mike Palco is.
Yeah.
So I can check with him.
I heard Howard Williams. No, Frank Williams put in a bid also in Houston.
Did he really? Oh, okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know.
What's up with Russell's website?
I have no idea.
They're no longer in business.
I heard he sold it, but I can't speak that. I don't know for sure.
Wow.
Huh. Well, I gave him a call, left him a voicemail, but I haven't heard back.
Don't know.
Huh.
I know he was trying to sell it, and I heard he did, but I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know the facts.
Wow.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, every bit of business I did with him, I was pleased. I got my products. I got them quick. But then that was about right after he first took it over. So I think.
Here you go, John, here you go. Just...
All right. Ah, yes.
Wow.
Ah, yes.
Look at that.
That's a gas engine would be really difficult right there. That's perfect.
I had one. The best flying one I had an 049 in it, TD 049. Thing called this was called Occam's Razor. The other one was called the Klingon, and it really flew good. And Dean Pappas crashed it.
I still wonder what would happen if you'd been able to take some of Robbie's wood there and build one real light.
Yeah, maybe. This is the Klingon. This is the one that really flew good.
Ah, yes. Longer. I guess you'd call it a tail moment on the nose.
Yeah, a tail moment on the nose. But this wasn't the final configuration, because with that little elevator, I found out you need the artificial air blast from the prop to really make them work. And we had to increase the elevator like 250%, the size of the elevator. Then it worked. It flew very well.
What side is the elevator? The back half, the trailing side, or the leading side?
On the back half is the elevator. We had to add a piece onto that was increase the area like to 250% of what you see there.
You know, I have one. I drew up after you and I talked on the phone about this, because you got me going on that cranked forward wing and all of that with the canard. But I put the pod that had the motor or the engine on it mounted to the stab, the canard, so that I'd get that blow over this elevator. But I never built it.
Yeah, I thought so. You got the malaria too.
Yeah, I did. It's all your fault.
I know. Sorry.
I bet you are.
Sorry. What can I tell you?
Howard must be going to go flying.
Yeah, I'm going to fly a little stunt.
Good.
And his airplane's going to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Big Joe will know what happened to Okie Air.
Should have been here 5 minutes ago. He
Yeah.
already did.
Well, I wasn't here 5 minutes ago. Tell
I
me
heard
what
it.
happened.
It's so, but I don't know all the particulars.
Wow.
Somebody else is gonna pick it up.
That's what I understand.
Well, I hope it's somebody that can put the time in it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Howard's ready. He's got his airplane out there, I guess. He's going to the lines.
Yeah.
He's just trying to piss us off.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's
We
flying.
haven't had any weather to fly in so long. I've forgotten how.
Oh, man,
Going in the
it's
morning, I'm gonna have to be
100 degrees
retrained.
Well, I'm going to have to fit floats to my airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get 2 inches of rain tonight, on top of everything we've had over the last couple of weeks.
Oh man.
Well, we were supposed to, according to the weather report, be clear from 2 o'clock today on through the weekend. And then about 5 o'clock, they start talking about tornado warnings, and we got one heck of a storm came through.
Hi, Carl.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, good. I heard Phil talking about tornadoes. Well, our weather, we have no tornadoes. It's nice and sunny and hot outside right now.
I was going to ask you what was happening in Power Room.
What was that? Yes.
Hush.
I understand.
It was
Out there in
about
paradise, I'm telling you.
It was about somewhere between 95 and 100 here today. But it's clear
Yeah, that
skies.
too. I tell you what, every time that I start worrying about all the wind and rain that we've had, I think about middle of summer when it's dry as a bone and no wind at all. And I think, well, this too will pass, So we'll be all right.
It just seems like it's taken a lot longer this spring for everything to stabilize.
It has. I think
It
you're
has.
right, Bob.
Yep.
I'm still having to take sinus medicine that I usually don't have to take at 1st of March.
I think the world's changing about 2 or 3 weeks further. It's happening later.
Yeah.
Well, the North Pole, the magnetic North Pole, has moved considerably from where it was 20 years ago. And, the Earth is wobbling around like a drunken sailor most of the time.
Sure.
And there's some strange things that are coming about because of this wandering around like that and changes in the weather. So, everybody wants us to stop doing this and stop doing that. But in reality, I mean, I won't say we can't affect the weather. We can.
Very little effect on the planet.
That's what I was going to say. We can, but it's very little.
I read an article saying that China is building that mega dam in China, and it's going to be such a big reservoir, whatnot, that they're claiming it's going to slow the rotation of the Earth down.
No,
no, I'm not a scientist,
that's like Guam.
That's just what I read. So.
That's like Guam tipping over because there's too many people there.
Yeah.
If all that was true in World War II, all the boats on the ocean, it would have flooded.
Yeah.
Well, think about it this way: the Earth is 70% water, 70% covered in water anyway. So if you reposition some of it, I just don't believe it's going to play that much heck with the axis.
Well, I read.
Let me ask you guys a question. If every iceberg melted, would the sea rise?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
There's some of it on Earth. There's some of it on land.
Well, if it's on the land, it would rise a little, but if it's in the water, it won't. All you got to do to test is take a glass of ice and put some ice cubes in it, fill it all the way to the top. And when the ice melts, it's still all the way to the top.
But not all the ice on this planet's in the water.
All right.
Yeah. Well, this is true.
I read somewhere that they've discovered there's huge underground oceans in our planet now.
Oh, that's been known for a long time.
Yeah. I didn't know it. I just found it out.
Berryville, Arkansas has got a big cave. You can pay money and go down this cave and they turn the lights on and they'll feed fish and feed fish come to the top, and the fish have no eyes. They're just skin over.
Yeah.
And they put cannonballs or something in there with ropes and let that rope out so far they couldn't hold it anymore and pulled it back up and never hit bottom. And they actually, I don't know who it was, but somebody tainted water in Alaska. And they found that chemical in that Berryville, Arkansas cave later, not the next day, later.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is. We don't know there's no everything there is to know about this planet. I am certain of that.
Well, let's say it rings sometime when
We can't figure out everything about a stunt pattern.
That's exactly right.
Oh, I got it all figured out. I can't do it.
Billy Warbridger's right. Stunt's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, wasn't it Tom Morris that said that?
Was it? I thought it was Billy.
I thought it was Tom Morris that stunt is hard.
Maybe it was. You may be right. I thought it was Billy.
Well, I have heard Tom say it, but that brings up a question. How's Billy doing, Bob?
Last I talked to him, he was holding his own. He's cantankerous, He's
always been cantankerous.
Well, yeah, he's doing dialysis 3 days a week. And, it's getting harder and harder on them, I think, to keep up with what they have to keep up with. They got like 12 or 13 horses and goats and pigs and cats, dogs, and he's got a wife, and feeding everybody. I'd
love to be closer so I can try to help him.
Veterinarians' bills and everything. It's got to be tough.
Yeah.
And he still has time to fly airplanes?
No, well, he's not flying, not right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have his Junar downstairs, the white one. I'm supposed to convert it to electric for him so he can fly in his backyard there. But he has a bit of a case about it, so I don't think.
White?
Huh?
The white Junar?
Yeah, the white one.
Is that the one that was originally had bright yellow on it? And
no, this one was always white. This one was like a test bed airplane. He should have flown. It was a really good flying airplane. But he never used it in competition.
I don't know that one. The one I remember, the only one I really remember is the black one he showed up 77 team trials with, and the motor was overheating.
That's a Juno.
That was a Juno.
Oh, that's right. That was a Juno. Junar. Wait a minute. White Juno.
It wasn't black either. It was dark blue.
Well, really
dark blue.
Like Corsair dark blue.
Yeah, even darker. It's really dark.
It was darker than Corsair blue because I had a Corsair blue airplane, and it was altogether darker.
Yeah, that was one heck of a nice looking airplane, boy. And the son of a gun, it was the first contest for that airplane was that 77 team trials in Gillum, Georgia. And he showed up and he wouldn't bring the airplane out until it was twilight in the motel parking lot when they had all the lights around, and the twilight, and the airplane would it bounced from every possible direction. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Could that be it?
Really good. Yeah, that's it.
Now I'll show you something else. I'll show you something else. There was a guy named Les Nearing.
Oh yeah, the Nearing Special.
That Nearing Special had a stabilator on it.
No, not this one. Where is it?
There were several Nearing
Carry
Specials,
on, I'll
but
find it.
I remember one that was absolutely beautiful.
The blue one.
Yeah.
He sold that to Vic Macaluso.
Huh.
Hey, we're going to get some Bearcat reports tonight.
Got
to keep after you, Mark.
There's Mark and Keith Trussell with the other Bearcat on the ground right there. He sent me that picture.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I don't have any good pictures of Keith's Bearcat, but Keith had a Gulf Hawk 4th. That thing was just spectacular. You would have sworn that he had the cut in exhaust stacks on it, and you touched it, it was just painted on. He was a master with a shading, or he is a master with shading.
You know, John Jordan and Keith built 2 of those at the same time. John's got a duplicate of that over his house. Do you want it? It's for sale.
How much is it?
I don't know. Whatever I decide.
Well, I'd like to see it. Bring it to Brodak. I'd like to see it.
I can't bring everything to Brodak.
Yeah.
Just run a Greyhound bus.
I got a little trailer. I know.
Yeah, no, he can drive a semi. Come on.
Joe's gonna be coming by your house on the way to Brodax. He can pick it up for you and take it.
Yeah.
Who?
Right, Joe?
No.
It's not here. It's in Dayton. I got to stop in Dayton.
Here's another airplane you might recognize. You think they built that in the same shop?
Yeah.
The
It sure
same
looks a lot like
time,
it.
with the same paint?
By the same
Sure
guy.
looks a lot like it, don't it?
No, it's not the same AMA number, that's for sure.
No, but it's a different
No.
airplane, but the same colors, the same paint
Well, look at the
scheme.
wing. It's not the same wing either.
I can
No,
tell
no,
you
That
it
was
wasn't built
foam.
in the same shop.
Oh, I disagree. I think they built the same time.
It's not the same wing, though.
No, but the
engineering,
paint job's
that was foam.
exactly the same.
It was built in Nearing shop.
They painted them the same time then.
Mhm.
They used the same can of paint.
Tell you what, it was pretty.
Oh, I got a story
Howard,
for Bob. He's still here.
Oh, go ahead.
Howard's got a story.
Yeah. Robbie and I installed sprinklers in this in Circle One here, and I had one malfunction. And let's see, I'll turn the camera around, and can you see?
Let me present him. Hold on a second.
All right.
Spotlight for everyone. Okay.
Well, it's not that good a story, but right over there, there's I dug up one of the sprinkler boxes to get at the valve for the malfunctioning sprinkler, but the actual malfunctioning sprinkler is over here in another box. We're here. He could have told me. That's the whole story.
2 airplanes.
My luck, I'd be out there trying to practice, and the darn thing would come on. I'd get wet.
3 airplanes.
That's happened to me.
This could happen here live, and you can laugh about it when it does.
Oh, Lord. Howard, does the dog fly as good as it did before the repair?
The other one, yeah. This is the old.
Okay.
I'm surprised he's not at the Northwest Regionals.
Kind of surprised about that too. That is this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. Right now, everybody's in somebody's motel room lying like mad.
Oh. Modelers don't lie. You're thinking about fishermen.
No. It's called gamesmanship.
So you want to see some Bearcat pictures?
Yes, we do.
Certainly.
Yes, please.
Certainly.
Blatantly.
Would have been a pretty productive week, I think.
That was a week ago.
Yeah, this is where we were. And I molded these side pieces, which are oversized. And I carefully trimmed them. Made sure they fit. So then I glued them on, held my breath for 2 days, and came out pretty good. So I was happy.
Yeah.
Well done.
And I filled in with some putty and did some sanding, and I'm pretty pleased with the results.
That's good.
Darn right.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of putty are you using?
What's that?
What kind of putty are you using?
Oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it. It's the stuff it's made over in England, and it's
Glaze
powdered,
it, buddy.
little
Glaze
powdered
it.
sugar and some brown shoe polish.
It's really light, fluffy stuff.
Spackle. Light.
Yeah, very much like spackle.
Hmm.
And
Stands
my
easy.
next task was to cut the access hatch here
Mhm.
and put that in there. So while I was waiting on the pieces to dry, I cut the liner for it. This is 16th inch balsa. This is where the T-nuts go in to hold the hatch on. Whoops.
Mhm.
And then I glued it in with CA and clamped it in and went around the edges with CA. And then I took another molded piece I had out of an old mold. One of the molds I tried, I didn't like it, so I didn't use it. But I cut the hatch out of it. And again, I carefully trimmed it down all different directions till it would fit. And then I made these little basswood inserts where the bolts go, the countersinks. Here's a piece with the holes cut in it and the little pieces. I used a Forster bit. That works really well. They're really sharp. It's a 1/4 inch diameter hole, and I did them by hand. I just turned it. I was afraid to put it on the drill press. I thought,
Those are great, those Forster bits.
How big is that drill bit? It looks smaller than a 1/4.
Nope, that's what it is.
Huh. Because that's the smallest I got. It's a 1/4.
And well, it's turned sideways here. It might not be showing the full diameter.
Mm.
And here's the pattern I had for the hatch. I used to mark the holes. And I put in the inserts and
Good job.
back into the hatch. So this is where I am at the moment. Next thing I got to do is mark these holes and then go back in and drill the locations here on these 3 spots
Put the blind nuts in.
and put the T-nuts in the back, yeah. And glue those in with epoxy, and then I'll be ready to move on to work on the stabilizer. But my progress is going to be cut down here pretty soon because we're going to be going on a cruise a week from Saturday, week from tomorrow for 10 or 11 days. As soon as we get back from the cruise, I think in less than 2 weeks after that, I take off for Ohio. And then I'll be in Ohio at the end of June, and then I'll go over to the Nats on the 5th of July, and then I'll go back to Ohio after the Nats are over. And then after about a week after that, I'll probably be tired of the grandkids.
You don't have to build another stab, do you?
I don't think so. I'm going to try to cut the other one off. The one I had on this one broke the spar when I fell on it, so I don't want to use that one.
Do you have an oscillating saw?
Oh, what?
A saw like this. Let me hopefully it's handy here. Yeah, I don't have the battery in it. It's an oscillating saw like this. That'll cut that stab off perfect.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Now I take a Dremel motor tool. I've got a Dremel motor tool with a special cutter in the end of it for wood. And that's what I usually employ when I'm trying to disassemble a plane. So that's the Bearcat story for today.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Looking surgery.
You're not a well man though.
Yeah, I figured another month or two I'll be back where I was 2 months ago.
Yeah. Jeez.
Where's that Leonard Burrell? He'd be saying crickets right now.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. We haven't seen Len for
Been a minute.
He's probably out flying tonight.
Oh, okay.
Hope so.
He's probably out flying his endurance airplane.
That's
can't
great.
get the shuttle up.
Month at a time.
You put a candle on it.
It'd be dark now. He's east of me, and it's already dark here. So
He might be blowing a hoolie there and chasing the airplane.
Wasn't too bad today.
Actually,
wasn't too bad today. I went flying this morning.
Did okay, huh?
So it was all right.
Did you ever weren't you working on a
blow too hot.
Pathfinder or something there, Stuart?
No, I did crash one, and then kind of Len felt sorry for me, so he fixed it. So
It's nice to have friends.
I flew my Twister today.
All right.
I'd have thought we'd have seen Howard flying by now.
Well, you'd think so, but he's kind of slow.
He heard me
know.
talking. He heard
It
me
looks
talking
like-
about him.
It looks like it's cloud. Looks like it's clouding up. You better
It
hurry.
does.
Onshore breezes, bringing all that moisture in off the Pacific Ocean.
There's a lightning bug flying around in here. Gee, man,
Maybe good luck.
I don't think so.
That's a cricket. A cricket is good luck.
We almost never see a lightning bug in Colorado. We used to see them all the time back in Ohio and Massachusetts. But
You see him here a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see them a lot.
I remember one year I was at the SIG meet there in Montezuma, and we were sitting out there with as dark as all get out and no moon. And we're sitting there, and those darn lightning bugs was coming up out of that cornfield. It just looked like a reversed, how would you call it, a waterfall. And just coming up,
Almost magical.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was the guy that wrote the Duke of Stunt Blues.
Tony Lang.
Yes, Tony Lang. What a character. We'd gone into Montezuma to have about 3 or 4 to get some pizza. We had pizza. We come back, and like I say, the moon wasn't shining. It was pitch dark. We come down that road, get ready to turn to go into the field there, and I see this light go zooming in an arc up over the surface like that. We get there and open up the door, and you can hear Tony Lang out there just laughing his head off. He's, look at this, this is the best I've ever flown this airplane, because he's flying off the light trace on his eyes,
Oh,
And what do you want me to do? How about doing a triangle with the point down? Sure. Oh, he was funny, that guy. Whatever happened to him?
He's living
Bob?
up here. He lives about an hour northwest of me.
Tell him we miss him.
Yeah. I talk to him every now and then.
Yeah. He was so interesting to talk to.
He was a piano tuner.
I told you the story he told me. He sucked me right in the first time he met me. I'll tell it again, just for those that haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I pulled into the SIG meet, and I'm got my trunk up, and I'm taking airplanes out, and this big guy comes walking to me and says, "Hi, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing real good. How about you?" No, that's normal talk, right? And he looks at me and he says, "Well, I was doing pretty good till I lost all my money." And I said, "Oh yeah, how'd you lose all your money?" It was kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
And he said, "Well," he says, I loaned a buddy of mine $10,000 for plastic surgery. Now I don't know what he looks like."
That's pretty good.
When
I
you
was in
get
the middle of the pattern.
When are you leaving for Brodax, Robert? You getting there Saturday or Sunday?
I get there Friday.
Friday. Oh, you're getting earlier. Good for you.
Yep, Friday evening. I'll be there Friday evening.
He wants his spot.
That's right.
I'll see you Monday afternoon.
After profile.
Probably, unfortunately. We're gonna try to leave a little early and try to get there. It's 6.5 hours up there.
See, I got to drive in front of where everybody's at because my car will not back up that hill. I almost burnt the clutch up. So I drive in front of them, and when I get down to the pits, I make a right-hand turn and head north.
Right.
I don't want a whole lot of people going, "You can't do that." Yeah, I can. So if I get there,
broadcast
everybody
at
else,
all,
I don't know how I
Sparky?
got there. What?
You can broadcast at all?
Still didn't
Live
hear.
stream?
Yeah,
You can live stream at all?
yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. He does that every year. We're gonna try to I'm gonna try a new way of getting there. I'm going up to Ed's place in West Virginia and then go across. And it's at least the way it looks and the way everybody's told me, it should be as quick or quicker than going almost straight up because and less tolls too, a lot less tolls. Getting from Ed's place to Brodak is an hour. Is what I've been told. Now, if that's true, this should be a whole lot quicker.
Look
So we're
on
gonna try
Google
and see.
Earth. It'll show you right quick.
Well, that's what I did. It says it's quicker, so that's where I'm going.
You can even put in no tolls if you want on Google Earth.
I don't
I'm
think
not
there are
gonna do
any
that.
quick ways to get to Brodax.
What are you trying to show us there, Stuart?
Um,
You had something in your hand.
well, that's my handle. So I sometimes it's a Brodak. Um, now what's the spacing on that?
It's a Rayco handle.
It's like 5 inches. Oh, that's little. I've done the bolts. 4
Okay, I got 3 1/4.
3 1/4. That's pretty small.
That's what I'm wondering because I'm finding that I feel like I'm having to jerk it too much. If I spread that out farther, will that help?
Yeah.
Yes. I find most of them 5-inch handles, Stuart.
5 inches
Like the
between
full size. I need to go measure it now that you say that.
I'm flying up over 6 inches. Robbie's closer to 7 inches.
Yeah.
on the Kate. Wow, the width.
Yeah,
All
the
you want to do
spacing.
is just that.
The spacing. You know, Bob
Yeah.
Barron used to fly with a 7-inch handle.
Sure did.
I'm gonna have to try and make that. Well, you can only go so far on this. I can go another 1/4 inch each way, so that'll give me almost a 1/2 inch.
Get it all.
I might have to try that.
3.5 inches
because
is why I fly on a half A.
I'm really trying to crank it. But the other thing is, would that be the most logical compared to? I kind of sometimes wondered if I should put more elevator in, but I don't know. Like,
Go ahead, Bob.
You need more handle.
There's lots of ways to skin a cat, but with your handle at 3.5 inches, I don't care how tail heavy you made or nothing, you have no leverage.
Okay, so
and you're
that's
moving your hand too far to get it to do anything.
You can't get back to neutral quick enough.
That's correct.
Okay, but maybe that's the problem. I'm trying to figure this out, and I wasn't going.
Do you have any old hot rock handles laying around?
No.
Or the
I
Brodak wooden handle it's got?
I don't have a lot of junk hanging.
Oh, mercy.
So,
oh, here we go. Oh Lord.
Nice.
He's just not been in this long enough, guys. He'll get there.
I don't. Handles are a personal thing. You know, everybody's got their little pet thing, but.
Well, I just feel like I'm fighting the plane too much, doing
That's
the
right.
stuff.
Come to Brodax and fly my little 576 Ringmaster, and you'll go, "Oh my goodness, how's it do that?"
I wish I were going.
I wish you were too.
But
Me three.
Me three.
I'm going. As long as I can get there, I'm going.
I want to look at your 5.76 Ringmaster.
It's old.
I learned a lot looking at your little Ringmaster.
It's nothing special.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in your hands it is.
Best contest of the year, Brodex.
There's just so
Say what,
much going
Sparky?
on.
Anytime Joe, for those of you who don't know, anytime Joe gets a Ringmaster in his hand, magic happens. That man can fly a Ringmaster.
I'll have to leave my handle the way it is because I'm hopefully going to Toronto to a contest. Not this weekend, next. All goes well.
Well, don't open it up all the way to start off with. Just inch it 1/8 of an inch on each side.
Yeah, the most I can go here is
about a quarter.
Yeah, I think about a quarter on it.
Can you turn those things over that it's bolted on?
Oh, you mean the block?
Yeah.
Turn
the block over and put it to the outside, and then you go all the way. But
it's pretty much there.
Oh, that is true.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I got like an 1/8 quarter of an inch almost to go up on each. So I'll see what happens. I'll play with it after in a week or two and just see because.
Let me make a suggestion, and just for what it's worth, if you've got a black magic marker or a pen, put a dot on the metal where it is now.
Yeah.
Then move it all the way out. Then move it all the way out one time, and fly it, because if you don't like it, you can always put it back to the dots.
Right.
But you'll have so much more control and so much more torque on the plane. The torque don't come from the airplane. Torque comes from your wrist. And if you don't move the lines enough, you can't make it up in quick controls in the airplane.
What you're trying to do is get the elevator to move, not just as far as it should go, but get there quick. Because if you don't, the airplane, but if you have a slower moving elevator, the airplane's already started to turn by the time you get it at full throw, and it's at a wider turn. You need to get the elevator to kick in quick. But when you do that, you're also going to have to move the balance point forward so you can stabilize it after it corners. Back in the 70s, we all had really tight turning airplanes. Phil could probably remember those.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even know why. And it turned out that we had Vico control horns, which were very short, and they had a lot of throw, and it was fast. And we were able to get the elevator, a lot of elevator throw in very fast and get the airplane to turn. But then we had to stabilize them after they turned. So we moved the balance points forward. And then you could kind of have your cake and eat it too. The only downside, there's never a never ending well of good things. The only downside to it was in heavy wind, you get a lot of stick pressure buildup. Because when you deploy the flaps, it overstabilizes the airplane, moves the center of pressure aft, and the airplane becomes more nose heavy. In the wind, it gets harder to turn. You felt like you're going to break the lines. That's why I went to swept forward trailing edges, because it negates that. But that's another story.
Am I not correct, Bob, that this only works on light airplanes?
Well, I was getting to that.
Okay.
You try to make a heavy airplane turn that tight, and it doesn't have enough lift, it's going to fall out of the air, for sure. But that's the way to get the airplane to turn tighter, is to get not just the elevator throw, but get the speed of the throw.
Yeah, like a handle.
Higher, if you don't have fast controls in the airplane, the only way to do it is to open the handle spacing. About 3 years ago, David Fitzgerald came to the East Coast to fly at the Gene Schaefer Memorial over in Long Island. And he called me up and he asked me if he could borrow the Crossfire. I said, absolutely, it's yours for the weekend. So he flew the flight. He says, it's great, but can I make a change? I said, well, it's yours. Do with it as you please. So he opened the handle quite a bit, and he added a little nose weight. And I decided I wanted to fly in the contest too. I was supposed to judge, but it turned out I was judging advanced, so I could enter expert. But now the airplane was completely changed. I hadn't flown it with this new configuration with more spacing and a little more nose weight. And I won one of the rounds. And I went home and adjusted every one of my airplanes that way. So I could get more elevator in quicker and then move the balance point forward so that I could stabilize it after the corner.
That's an old standard hot rock.
Oh, okay. I got one of those.
That's a 4-inch. I don't know what you got, but that's kind of an old standard. When I was a little kid, they had a bigger one of these. I don't know what they call it, but
5-inch.
Easy Just. You called it the Easy Just.
Easy Just. That's what I learned to fly with, was Easy Just. That's what Daddy used. And I flew half A's with them. But you had to put the hole inside and the hole on the horn high and have soft hands. That's a Marvin Denny one. Everybody remembers Marvin. That's a copy of this. This is what Marvin Denny thought they should look like.
Hopefully he left the wires from sticking out the back and shocking you.
It is.
Okay. It is out the back?
It's out the back.
Yep. Oh man, that's the thing I hated about Easy Just.
So
but if you short the two lines out and short yourself out to it, you'll ground
if you would fly like this, it would never shock you.
Yeah. Does Marvin Denny's have the wire sticking out the back?
Yes.
That's it. That's it, huh?
That's it. But if you get shocked, if you'll fly like this and touch that, it won't, and kick your shoes off, it won't shock you because it ain't got where to jump to. But you got to kick your shoes off. But that's a Fancher type handle, y'all. I think Brett sells those, and that's a handle off. I don't know what it's off something I'm flying, but it's a 5-inch. Most of mine are the outside hole or the hole in, and this distance here is kind of important too. The distance from the center of this line to where your knuckles are. The closer you get there, in my opinion, it speeds it up also. When you got it out here like this, when you move it, it starts happening, then all of a sudden it happens real fast and it lets off and it slows down at the end. Bob made a living on handles at that long and he made it work.
Yeah.
I don't know how. But
Well,
he
I had to do what you mean my True Just handle?
Yes.
Well, the reason that worked was because we had such fast controls. I had to actually dampen a little bit.
Yeah, that would dampen it going out like that.
I had to dampen some.
Yep, I'm sure. But handles,
I think Bob, go ahead.
Handles are magic, y'all. You got to have the right handle for you. And if you're flying like this, your up's going to be cat and your down's going to be gone. If you're flying like that, you got no up and your down's going to be cat quick. That neutral needs to be there.
Straight up and down.
That's right. And
the easy way to cure
if you're moving more than that, you're not going to get in the top 10 probably.
Oh, then I'm in the bottom 100.
I'm like, does that.
Oh.
That's all you need. Right? If you see you doing this and that, jerking around, that's a mistake, man. In my opinion.
Now wait a minute. Wait a minute, Joe.
It's kind
Joe,
of
you are the silver standard for dancing around in the center of that circle.
But you don't see me doing this.
No, it's usually just following you.
Steve, are you paying attention?
Yes.
We had a
gold standard. That's what I was trying to say.
We had a national champion that was known for dancing around the circle.
Dance is different than being wild-handed.
No, I think I hold my hand different than everybody too.
Well, I bet you don't fly reverse like Rusty did, where down is up and up is down. That, whew, man.
That was crazy. But if you're used to holding your handle slightly down like he was showing, if you'll bend your elbow, you naturally do that. And then you got the range of motion in your wrist. I can't remember who showed me that, but I have always set mine up where they're a little bit further forward. But then I fly with a bent elbow, and I never even thought about it. But once I got to thinking about it, I can't fly. I mean, I see some of the top guys flying. They got that arm straight out. I don't know how they do it because by the end of the flight, my arm's getting awful heavy. But I can do this for a flight and not bend elbow and not have a problem.
Make the airplane.
But I had the same deal that Bob had. Bob and I both flew in the 60s and 70s, and then he went away and flew pattern for a while, and I went away and flew RC sailplane. And when we come back, the horns had gone from Vico style to Tom Moore style, which was 1.125
inches. 1.25 inches.
Wow.
Inch and a half.
1.25 inches. And I mean, what a change, man. That was an eye opener.
It slowed the whole system down.
Yeah. 4-inch bell cranks were
the only way that made the airplane turn was move the balance point aft. And when you do that, there is a certain amount of wisdom to the rock on a string principle. It will mask some minor trim things. If you move that balance point aft, it's getting more like you're trying to balance a ball, trying to balance on a board on top of a bowling ball, and like what they call neutral stability. And it's very difficult to trim the airplane to lock and to fly in wind and everything. I find that it's better to go with a faster control system, a little more nose weight, so that the airplane stabilizes after you turn. And then in my case, I move the average of where the flap deployment is forward on the wing, so I don't get the stick pressure buildup. So it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too.
Well, I know it works a lot better. I've just got
Works
my
for me.
first one flying,
Works
and
for
it
me.
does fly a lot better. But one thing that got me was when we come back, Randy Smith had come out with the SV11, and they were turning and locking, and just wow. I mean, and then I see Bill Werwidge flying, turning and locking, and he's got the Junar with a 40 on it with what's that funny looking thing hanging behind it? A tune pipe.
So I purposely grabbed this one thinking it would work for you.
Oh, me. Wait a minute. Excuse me.
There's a lot of ways to skin that cat, but for me, in my opinion, I fly a little more nose heavy than some, fast controls. But if you got a decent weight airplane, all the flap you need is enough not to make it stall in corners, triangles, and hourglasses. And I've been leaning toward more elevator than flap now for several years.
Yeah, all of us have.
Hey, that's something I was
enough flap to make the airplane not stall, but that changes from one point of the year to another. In the spring, when there's more air in the air, you need less flap. And in summer, when it's high density
part of the
altitude,
country,
you need more flap.
So
you could even go ahead.
Are you saying you need more flap than elevator?
Less.
No.
Less flap.
That's what I was wondering too. If I actually changed the one hole on the elevator.
Where I learned that to my first Nobler I had, I took it to Tucson in 04 and flew out there, then flew it till I wore it out. The hole in the elevator was just wore out. So I just moved it up one and reset neutral. Oh my gosh, this sucker flies better than ever did. And I thought, And Jim Lee says, well, everybody knows that, Joe. They got too much flap. I said, well, nobody told me.
I cut a quarter of an inch off my flaps.
Is that
just
full up?
experiment, and it flies better than it ever did full flap.
Let's see the ratio. Give it full up, and let's see the flaps.
Oh, we got torn now.
Oh, the flaps? Sorry.
Yeah, give it full up, and let's see the flaps
and the elevator.
Yeah, I want to see them at the same time.
Now you're cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to raise that horn up one hole in the elevator.
It wouldn't hurt nothing. If you're not, I'm sure you're not stalling. That's probably not a heavy airplane.
I don't. If I'm stalling it on the corners a little bit, it could be doing that a bit. But so yeah, I can move it up one.
Sometimes if you hit the controls hard and you got a lot of flap, you'll see the airplane shudder and quiver. It's not stalling. It's just got so much air going over the thing. It's not happy.
It did quiver, but Bob, actually, we talked to the Nats last year, and I straightened my rudder on this.
He's crazy.
And I think that helped a lot because it was really kind of doing this
sideways. Yeah. I don't know that any of us use much more than 20 degrees of anything when you're flying.
I don't think so.
But if you use, I built a new Nobler for the kids, a new ARF Nobler for the grandkids to learn stunts with, and to put a new control system in it, I ended up putting the flap to the elevator on top, and I just went the other side and put it on top, went right straight to the elevator to get more elevator, and I trimmed it out how I wanted it. Oh my gosh, I think it's got 33 degrees elevator and 24 degrees flaps. So you use maybe 16 flap and 22 or 4 when you're flying it. That thing's got a killer turn, man, a killer turn.
I got an SV11 set up like that, and it does too.
What did you say the degrees were on that? I missed what you said on
I think the elevator was at 34, 35, and the flaps were at 26.
Okay.
And I've never got them perfect. If it's flaps at 26, elevators 20 or 34 down, it may be 34 up, 26 down. I mean, there's some geometry that Howard could spend days talking to you about that geometry to get that the same. I've never got one to be exactly the same. You know,
the reason why most ringmasters don't fly is because they got 90 degrees of elevator up and 90 degrees down, and they stall. The swing of the control is too much.
They only need about 22 probably, or 3.
You described my first ringmaster.
Well, that's
I thought more elevator was better. That thing would flop over.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna have to jump off. Good to see everybody.
Good seeing you,
Good
Bob.
to see you, Bob.
Take care,
Take
Bob.
it easy.
Look forward to seeing you at Brodack, Bob.
Yeah, man.
One of my friends here in Tulsa, got Tom Martin. Most of you guys might have met him at Brodack, Stuart, but his biggest deal was, Joe, I don't know what to tell you to do, but I'm going to tell you this. Do something. Even if it's wrong, you can always put it back and you'll learn.
Yeah,
That's
why I want to try this. I'm going to, after the contest, I don't want to change it before the contest just because it might take me too much time to get used to it. But
probably not. You'll take to it like a dog to water, man.
Stuart.
Yeah, the weather. I'm worried about the weather because I need to go out. I've hardly flown at all, and I want to go out once or twice more if I'm lucky before the contest because we got a lot of wind coming through.
Yes.
Oh.
Mike Palco says he hasn't heard anything about the team trial since January.
Okay. Me neither. But I encourage you to try things. And that trying there is easy. You take a screw out, you move it up once, and you probably got to adjust your elevator flat neutral because you get along. If you go up, the elevator, I don't know which way your angle, you have to look at the angle of that. If it's like this and you go up, it's going to give it up to be hooked up. So you have to make the rod shorter. If it's going down, you go up, it'll bring the elevator this way. Nobody's got this perfect square. So if your rod's like this and you move the rod up once, the elevator's got to come down to get to that hole. So that means you're going to have to lengthen the rod a half a turn or something to get it back out where it belongs. Do you understand?
Well, yeah, basically, if you get your flap and your elevator straight,
they got to be neutral, dude.
Right?
They got to be, yes. When you move the pole up, it'll change that.
Yep.
And then it'll.
I know what you mean.
If they're not neutral, your plane's gonna hunt. Just
it'll hunt one way and lock in the other. That's what it'll do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, I saw.
Yeah,
I saw.
I straightened the rudder out. That made a big difference. But I know I'm still cranking too hard, so I'm going to try that in another couple of weeks.
You get home, try that, expanding your handle, and changing that elevator horn up one hole.
Yeah.
And make notes so you know where to put it back. And
one thing at a time.
Yeah, I do that.
Well, I do one thing at a time, but still make those two changes.
On that
and
deal
make
there,
yourself notes of what the difference was when you made the change.
Write
it down somewhere so you can go back to it. Don't count on your memory because
I actually typed out a flight sheet, so that I put all that on there where the holes are on it. So if, like you're saying there, then I can keep track of everything.
Well, I'll tell you one that's helped me a bunch. If you can get a hold of Northwest, Howard can tell you where to find it. Northwest control liners or whatever. Anyway, look up. Oh God, believe I forgot his name. There's a stunt sheet, a trimming sheet that was put out by Paul Walker, and it's a detail thing. But if you set a plane up by that, it'll be right.
It's flyinglines.org.
Flyinglines.org. There you go.
Okay, I've got that. I was starting to look up that, but I didn't have time to read through it and stuff.
Well, take the time. Trust me.
This is
take the time.
So I got
that'll work.
And it's
that's good
on there. And I do
any
this,
notes you take is better than nothing. Trust me.
Yeah, and I've got all the line length, the elevator horn, which hole it's in, and everything. So
yeah. Well, I took my ringmaster, and I've been having an awful time with it because it comes along and I try to hit the climb for climb and dive, and it shudders through there. Everybody says, "Oh, it's got too much control." It ain't got. It's real slow controls. So I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and I asked Joe about it last year, and then I looked at Joe's airplane. And I went home, and I didn't have a chance to do it until just recently. But I had those metal hubbed wheels that are real pretty wide and got the like Sparky's got on the plane he's taking to Brodak to sell. Banner, yeah, I had a set of those on. They're real pretty, but they're heavy. I took those off and put some of those little 2-inch white plastic centered things that looks like some five little spokes. I put those on it, and the thing said bang. I mean, it just, so if you need more turn, take some weight off the darn thing. You might have too heavy of wheels on it.
Too much.
My banner wheels weigh less than them little funky things you put on.
Oh, I know.
Because I cut the rubber off of them.
Those are perfect.
Yeah,
those are good.
Those are really good right there. That's Dave Brown, and those are really good wheels.
So
what engine's that?
That's Towers 40.
40 with the.
That's a good motor.
It's running good.
So where's the
guys
CG
I know?
the root?
The guys I know that are good engine men all say that that's a better motor than the FP. So
if you bounced it on
FP's
your
a great
finger,
motor.
where will the CG be on the bottom of the wing? If you just bounced, where's the CG?
We can't
18, 20%?
I don't know.
Okay. That's another important thing too. The CG. Can you make him big, Robert, so we can see that for fun?
Yeah, but he got to move the camera over.
Okay. Now you're cooking.
Okay, show us the CG.
What do you mean?
It must be in front of the spar.
It's close. Should be a little farther forward, I think.
You like you're right on the spar, aren't you? Or mighty close to the spar?
Close. Pretty close, yeah.
But your lead outs are on that spar, look like. Can you tell if the lead outs are on the spar?
Yeah, they're spaced pretty close. I would say, yeah.
To me, those should be 3/4 inch behind where the CG
the bolt's right on the
on the spar.
Yeah, you move them back.
Spar. It's on the spar, right? Pretty much just to the. If you looked at where the bolt is, it's like just at the front of the spar or close.
Move them back 1/4 inch at a time.
If you need, is it doing everything okay up top? Your line tension adequate?
So.
Well,
I think it's doing okay when I do like an overhead 8.
Yeah. You got 58-foot lines. How long a line, John?
That's another thing. 63.
Oh my gosh! How do you fly that on 63-foot lines? That's incredible. Good for you. I can't do that.
Actually, it's 63.7 to be exact.
Oh my gosh!
So
and you got line tension?
Yeah.
Well,
what's the lap speed?
It's between 5 and 5.3. Usually, I try to get about
screaming.
5.1, 5.2 usually.
That motor must be screaming.
It's going 96.
5 pitch?
4.5.
4.5. Well, if it's working, you got something going on. That's good. He's got cold air up there. That's what it is.
That could. I'm wondering though if I was wondering about shortening that up.
I don't even fly my big airplanes on 64-foot lines hardly.
So, if I change that, I'm gonna write it down so I'll forget.
It's going to go faster lap times.
What's that?
It'll go faster lap times. About 0.2 per foot's a close guess. That ain't exactly right.
1/10 per foot.
1/10.
Yeah. That airplane, what's the wingspan on that? 42?
No, it's 47, I think, 48.
I'd start off at 60-foot lines with that little plane.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What would you do?
I would never fly that on more than 60s, ever, never.
Okay.
And I'd be running that engine where it's not even beeping on the ground.
Put a 6-pitch prop on it and slow it way down till it's just slobbering rich. 60-foot lines. try it, you know.
You try things, go back. But you got a contest coming up. I wouldn't monkey with all that.
No, I'm not going to change anything. I want to fly it the way it is.
Yes,
These are the things
absolutely.
I'm looking at because I was thinking of the line length actually the other day. That was another thing I wasn't sure about.
Are you flying on wire or the new fishing lines?
Yeah, Spectra.
Oh, that helps a lot.
That helps a bunch.
That's a different game now. You're in your uncharted waters for me. You're probably just fine.
You're probably just about right because Spectra doesn't have it's smaller diameter, doesn't have the drag. So you're probably all right on your line length.
If you're flying level laps and just flying it at 6 feet or whatever feet, if you look out there and look down them lines, are those lines straight to that airplane, or do the lines bow back to the elevator and go back to the wingtip?
I think they bow back a bit, but
sorry, guys, excuse me. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Just gonna say when I go fly, maybe if on Sunday, I'll try and remember to look at that and see, try and tell where the bow is, where the
yes,
within the like here, or if it's back here.
Yeah, if they're back to the elevator, so when you give it up, you got to pull some line tension on things to get it to change directions quick. So if your lines are bowed, you give it up, that one line's got to take up some slack before it can do much.
I think getting down to 60 foot would be the right thing to do.
My lines are just almost straight to the airplane. Now they don't even track much past the trailing edge.
Okay,
but
well, I'll look at that.
Just study on that a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Well, maybe what I'll do is before I change the elevator, maybe I'll change the line length or look at that first.
You already got a trimmed airplane. So if you did that, you'd have a comparison to line. You know, in my experience, the shorter lines, the tighter the turn, unless they got to drag stuff around. Yeah. And I've had airplanes tried long lines, and when I do a turn, I can see the lines whip. The airplane would turn, and the lines would be behind it, above it, and back behind it, turning because it just wallowed around out there. The lines weren't happy.
Okay. No, he's not going to get near as much of that with Spectra as we will with wire.
He doesn't. Okay.
I mean, I fly both. I got to ask a question of Howard.
What?
What was that thing you just put by the camera a minute ago? That wasn't a piece of airplane, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but you took it off.
Yeah.
You didn't.
That's right.
Okay. I was afraid it came off undesirably.
I'm fixing to make an elevator adjustment.
Oh, okay. Had me worried there, sir.
It wasn't rad, huh?
No.
That's the reason
I saw a piece of orange go by, and I thought, Lord, his airplane's orange.
Those Spectras probably allow you to run the lead outs a little further forward too, I suspect, than normal. Is that true, Phil? Spectra lines let you get away with forward lead out more?
Yeah, they do. Definitely do.
Yeah, I would think so. It's a good looking little airplane.
I've got a plane that I needed to. The wires were driving me crazy, and I went to the Spectra lines, and all of a sudden, everything's fine. So it makes a lot of difference. The one thing you'll change when you go from regular lead outs to Spectra, you'll discover real quick you need to take some tip weight out because the plane will bang so bad on the outboard tip. When you go to pull out of something, it'll just drop that outboard tip so bad. You'll realize pretty quick I need to take some weight out of that thing. And
do you fly close to Lynn? Do you fly close to Lynn?
Yeah, we fly together all the time.
Well, he's got a good eye. He can help you on that.
Yeah,
he's got a real good eye.
He'll have an idea. But the 3.5 inch line spacing, I think, is asking a lot of a human to make that work.
Just because Lynn's got a real good eye, but if you tell him I said that, we'll deny it. Not really.
You're gonna find out when you open that handle up, you're gonna get more action. And even a hard point handle is more active than these are pretty good because that's right there.
Yeah.
And there's not much, this doesn't move any. You know, if you took that handle and you flew your airplane and you took a Fancher handle, hard point, set up the same distances, you'd think it's a different airplane. The hard point's going to turn than this will. Even the same distance.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It just does. But that's not the end of the world. There've been a lot of people Heck, national world champions are won with cable handles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That
almost
gal at the Worlds was flying with a cable handle.
see it.
Well, she could fly.
I mean, I just haven't flown enough to sometimes, but some making these changes will be kind of. I think it'll teach me what's going really on.
It will. It'll. You either like it. My gut feeling is you're going to go, oh my, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you say, make one change at a time and write it down what it's doing before. Make the change, write it down, fly it, and write down what you think after the change.
And
Because
give it more than one chance.
not just for now, but later on, you'll be able to look back at your notes and say, well, last time I did this and it did this, and I got this problem again, I'll do that and see if I can't fix it with the next airplane or with another airplane, whatever. Because I still look at notes from 20 years ago.
My recommendation is don't be so timid to say, yeah, it's good enough. Keep going,
No,
keep
never
going,
do that.
keep going until it's too wild that you can't handle it. Then go back to where it needs to be. And
You
like
go to
go ahead.
You go to a big contest and you watch Bob Hunt, any of the top guys. Bob's retired now, I know, but anyway, watch any of the top guys. This is gonna raise an eyebrow. Even Sparky. Oh, he didn't pay attention. It's no fun if you ain't paying attention. Anyway, you watch the top guys fly, and Joe Gilbert or any of them, they're always tweaking with an airplane. They always go over and change something. They're always trying to get it just a little bit better. But
sometimes
you go back to your notes and you say, well, in this air, I need to do this. I need more in the elevator. I need more. I've done it. I'm starting to do it a lot, changing the elevator throw. In the spring, you need a lot of elevator throw. In the summer, you don't need so much. I would think it would be the other way around. But anyway, make your notes and make your changes. And then when you go and the air is a lot denser or the air is not as dense, you know which way to go to get that airplane to fly a whole lot better. We went from here to Tucson to fly the East Coast version was Golden Oldies, but fly Tucson, the what's the name of the contest? Vintage Stunt Champs.
Yes,
and out there, we needed undercamber propellers and we needed a whole lot more elevator throw because there ain't no air in that air out there. It's so hot and windy.
Come to
But
Colorado.
you come back here. Yeah, I've been there too. But you come back here and you got to get rid of that prop and you got to take some of the elevator out because we got more air in our air. You also got to worry about your fuel load because the motors run different, but that's another story. But anyway,
that's another story.
Make notes and just always play with it, make little changes and make notes. And then when you go somewhere and you have a little problem, you go back to your notes or just think about it and you'll know what to do. But it's just practice and get used to it because it does
you got to
make a
recognize
difference.
what you're doing. You got to make a change and really recognize what's happening. Right. And it may take more than one flight to recognize that stuff at first.
Yeah. I that's where I need to start doing this more and more. But
it's a lifelong challenge, but it'll drive you crazy.
It is a lot. It's a lifelong challenge. We went to Albuquerque one time and it was like 88 or 9 degrees up there. And I put 30% nitro to Big Blue and put some nose weight on it. And the guy said, "What in the world are you doing? You got to put tail weight on it to make it turn." And I said, "No, you don't. I need more elevator." So I'm putting nose weight and open my handle up where I could get me some flap involved. I spanked their little buttocks.
Man,
with nose weight at Albuquerque, and they're thinking, "Oh, you're doing the wrong thing. You got to put tail weight." No, you don't. You want
20
more
years
flap,
ago.
so put more nose weight and open the handle up where you can get more flap and elevator involved in that rascal.
Yeah, 20 years ago, I went to
nitro.
Albuquerque. 20 years ago, I went to Albuquerque, and I was amazed how nice their park was. We were there just a few months ago, or I guess it was about a month ago, and it's all overgrown, and I don't guess there's anybody left flying. Yeah, it looked terrible.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
It was nice last time I was there still.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. I mean, we've got Hobby Park, and I thought that was great until I went to fly, and then I wanted a lot more power and a lot more elevator because there ain't no air in that air either.
Well, Mark Gerber flies in that every day, 8,800 dits in
Mark Gerber ain't normal. Mark and
Keith,
none of those
Chris,
guys are normal.
Gary, you need a lot of airplane up there.
I don't know how they do it because there's just you go out there if you want a challenge, go out there to Mark's place and run just I mean, I used to run 5 miles every morning, run 100 yards and see how long it takes you to catch your breath. There ain't no air in that air. I'm telling you.
That's why you take 30% nitro with you.
Yeah, really. Really. I'm telling you what, it floored me. I just couldn't figure out what in the world was going on.
It's you just keep don't be afraid to make changes. And I'm the one that's going to tell you make big changes where you can see it quick.
I
Don't
was working.
don't go a 16th of an inch, go an eighth or a quarter.
Make
When
big
I changed the rudder, I noticed right away I was losing that. It wasn't it was going through the corners better.
Yep, it doesn't do this every time you turn
Yeah,
around.
that was a real problem. And then I was a little worried about the hole, and I added a real thin washer on the engine in the front.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of out. And that
Mm-hmm.
helped too. So
you're doing things. You just keep playing.
You're getting there. You'll get there. You'll get there.
I mean,
Bob
Lynn
Hunt
helped.
told me years ago, I looked at his airplane, and back then he was flying the Genesis. And I said, Bob, how in the heck does that thing, how do you keep that thing on the end of the lines? Because your lines are way forward. I thought they'd be at the wingtip, at the back of the tip, but they were way forward. You got no rudder. There's no way you added rudder. And the fuselage is not bananaed or anything. How do you keep that thing on the end of the lines? And this is back in Genesis 46 days with a Super Tiger 46, and everything was pretty simple. But Bob says, I do not do anything to induce a yaw in my airplane.
That's right.
And I got to thinking about that. And then I was talking to Billy Werwich. He said, well, think about it. You're in a loop. You come down and you're going fast, and that thing is really taking that front end out. And then you get to the bottom, and the plane's got to start trying to catch up. But then it goes up and it loses speed, and it's going to try to come back the other way. And it's just doing that the whole time. If you don't have as much rudder in it, then it tracks smooth. Because Billy Werwich is another one, uses very, very little rudder and very little engine offset. If Billy's got any engine offset in his airplane, I can't see it. And I probably got as critical eye as anybody I know. I made a living seeing the little things that people miss for a good living for 30 years. And he don't have much offset in that airplane. None of his airplanes. If they're not 0-0, they're pretty darn close. And his airplanes track through the maneuvers. You watch them. Billy, to me, never had a hard corner. I always loved to see a popping corner. Billy never had one, but he was so fluid through everything he did that it was so beautiful. And he could sense the wind change 20 degrees. And he'd tell the judges. And the next maneuver, he'd pop over there, and he was right. And he just was. He was the man. I mean, to me, Billy Werwich will always be the man. I think Les McDonald's one of the best pilots I've ever seen. I think Billy Werwich is one of the best pilots I've ever seen. Bobby Hunt's a pretty good stick himself. But
no doubt.
I have seen some really good pilots, but you can't say the best ones are gone because you got Fitzgerald and you got
Orestes.
And there's Orestes Fernandez coming up. I mean, these guys are dang good pilots.
Paul Walker proving himself over and over and over all over the world.
Oh, Paul Walker is amazing. I mean, he come out and flew that B-17, and I told him, oh, I don't know what it is. I don't know why you're not winning every contest you're going to, except that people aren't taking you seriously because you're flying a plane that's so dang complicated. And that's the only thing I can think of. They just weren't taking him seriously because he's flying as good a maneuvers as anybody out there and flying a plane that is so technical. It was incredible. And so y'all really missed out not seeing his B-17 with 4 15s or 20s or whatever the heck they were.
Howard was involved in that.
Yeah, Howard knows.
Yeah.
So I got a question.
That thing was incredible. I saw it at the Nats. I'd heard about it for 2 or 3 years, and I finally went to the Nats, and there it is. And I'm sitting there, wow, the B-17. And then I watched him fly it. And then I watched him and Howard and somebody else, I forgot that guy's name, over working on it because one of the pressure regulators failed, and they figured it out and fixed it, and then had to go chase one of the cowlings because Howard made cowlings for it. It was so light you could breathe on the full thing. It'd blow across the table. But anyway, the plane was just incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible.
He's got a new electric one ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'd love to see it.
What's your question, Sturt?
Yeah, if I go to 60-foot lines, it'll run. I think you said a point
3/10 faster
per foot, so that'll be 3/10 roughly. So I'll have to slow it down, right? And if I do that, it'll run richer, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, it's
It
going to run
all
richer.
depends on how you prop it.
Depends on how you prop it. That's true.
I just wondering, like I got a 4-ounce tank on there, and it's almost pretty much full. So I'm just thinking, will it change that much in the fuel?
Well, you're going to go faster laps a little bit. So, how does your engine run? Does it go nan and nan and now? Or just
It's somewhere in between.
so it's beeping. It's beeping in the air with your level laps. Or
no, I think it's pretty steady.
Pretty steady. Well, when you get shorter lines, the airplane's going to be easier to fly, easier to drag. So you might just reach it at 2 clicks and be fine, but you're going to pick up a little speed. But I'd set it at 90. If you're used to setting by tacking you 97, set it at 95 and just go flat and see how it feels.
So it'll burn more fuel though if it's richer, right?
A little bit, but you're going to get done quicker, Stuart.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going fast. Well, shorter line.
And I think you might be surprised the shorter lines, if the engine's not, it's like driving uphill. Is a car going to burn more or burn less, a little more fuel level flight? But the longer the lines, the more the engine's struggling and chucking, it unloads easier with the shorter lines. It might not be much different.
Okay.
What size prop are you running on that motor?
11 4.5.
Thunder Tiger prop?
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
What size engine is it?
It's a hobby or
Tower Hobby 40.
Tower Hobby 40, I
Tower
think.
Hobbies. Yeah. 40.
That's a good prop for that. Just set the needle like you used to, maybe 1 click richer.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it, maybe, and see how it goes. When I get down
Don't
to
do anything till after the contest, but
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till after that.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to change anything right now. So I'm just looking at my options.
You're thinking ahead. That's all right. The shorter lines airplane, the engine pulls easier. If it's pulling easier, if you got a 9,700 uphill or 9,700 level, the level's going to burn less gas.
Hey, Joe, is that a high torque motor?
No, not really. It's an LA-46, baby LA-46. About what
it's not like a Tiger 60 that runs 8,800, huh?
No, it wouldn't like 8,800, I don't think. I think 93 or 94 would be about as low as you could get away with on that, probably. Those are good engines. You just experiment. You'll learn things. Richard Oliver called it wasted flights. You got to do some wasted flights to learn.
Yeah, I took the original needle valve and put the RSM, or is it?
Yeah, probably.
I like those. I like that fine needle.
Yes.
80 threads per inch.
How many, Robert?
Ain't no wasted flight if you learn something.
That's true.
Super Tiger is 40 threads, and most of the aftermarket was 40 threads, and then the Randy Smith style needle valves were 80 threads per inch.
I guess I'm thinking more I'm used to the EOS. Some of the I find them they're pretty coarse, I think.
Can that motor handle 11.6 prop?
I don't know.
I don't know. I doubt it. But
I don't think you'd want.
Well, the reason I was asking is I have a LA-46 on a Nobler, and the gentleman that used to own RSM Hobbies, I think it was. I forgot what his name was.
Eric Rule.
Right, and I called him on the phone, and he highly recommended to run 11.6 on that
Wow.
46 because it unloads the motor more. And so
That's
I
what I
just
run
wonder if
on
it
my
would.
Tiger 46 is 11.6 EW, and it's got to
Yeah.
be EW.
So I just wonder if you ran 11.6 on that 40, you mentioned with the baby 46. I wonder if that would help him out a little bit.
It's a test, baby.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't say don't try it. I'd say try it.
Yeah, I'll wait and see. Once I start making some of these adjustments, if I have to adjust the motor, then I'll look at that.
Sure, you may have an opportunity at your contest if there are some other experienced flyers there.
Yeah.
Because they'll actually get to see and hear your engine run and all of that. And so you could discuss these things that you're getting from all these guys that are so experienced and bounce it off the experienced guys at your contest, and they're in a better position because they're there. They know if that engine is running based on a more of a two-stroke or if it's cycling between 2 and 4, and therefore what kind of a prop. That's a pretty low-pitched prop. Now I'm not that knowledgeable, but I think with a low pitched prop, it's you're not having a lot of break with that. It's more of a high RPM motor probably. But my main point is you'll be with experienced guys and combine what you're hearing tonight with some discussion with those guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The other thing is, I have to look. I don't know if this the hole in the curb. I might. Well, we'll see what happens. That's something else I can play with.
Go smaller and get more mileage. Yeah, go smaller and get more mileage.
Go to a 10.6.
Make it sound the same at the lower RPM.
10.5 maybe.
We'll start out with a few changes here and see how it goes and see how the engine.
Stuart,
Go out there, Lynn. Yep, yes.
Stuart, you ever go to the shoe shop and see those little footies that look like women's hose?
Oh,
Not the shoe shop, the shoe store.
Shoe store. A shoe store and see the.
Yeah.
Your wife ever wear a hose? Old hose? You ever have old hose around?
No.
Lots of hose on my street.
I don't have any of that.
Well, go to a shoe store. Go to a shoe store. And if you'll look around, especially in the woman's section, they'll have these little boxes of, it looks like a half a sock. It's just a footy.
Oh,
it's not a hose. It's just a footy, but it's made out of hose material.
Yeah.
Pick one of those up, try on a pair of shoes or something. Pick one of them up, put it in your pocket. Go home and make some little circles about as big around as a quarter or a little bit bigger. And start. Okay, there you go. That'll work.
You could go to the dollar
one
store and buy a bag of a lifetime supply of pantyhose, $2.15.
No wonder about
Well, anyway, I'm cheap. I go to the shoe store, but I take a piece of that, put over my Venturi, and take an O-ring, play with O-rings, get one the right size to go over that and hold it on. If you need more fuel, put a second piece on it, or even a third piece on it. In Florida, I had 4 pieces on it.
That chokes the motor.
It does choke the motor.
Yeah.
It does choke the motor down, but you will get through the pattern.
You'll use more fuel with it choked off.
No, you won't.
You run with a choke.
I got through the pattern with it choked off.
It makes the Venturi smaller. Is what it's doing. Makes it can't suck as fast. Keeps the bugs out too.
I always run one piece just to keep the bugs out, because I got caught. The motor shut off too early one time, and I couldn't figure out what happened. I had half a cicada up in the Venturi. That happened at Brodite.
Yeah. I just put my air filter on this airplane, getting ready for Brodite for that same reason, because I think the cicadas are going to be there.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Is this a cicada year for Brodite going? Do you know?
What?
Is this a cicada year for Brodite?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I thought it was 17 years.
What'd you learn, Howard?
Nothing yet. I got the dog back together and I'm gonna go fly some stunts, but looks like my phone's about out of gas. So.
Oh well. Well, just be careful. We'll look forward to seeing you Monday, I hope.
If it goes off, goodbye.
Okay.
I like John's advice, Stuart. There'll be guys there that can hear it run.
Yeah,
That's a big
exactly
deal.
right.
That's a big deal.
That's as good advice as you're gonna get, because they'll be right there where they can hear what it's doing. Is it lugging? Is it lagging? What's it doing?
You bringing that blue airplane to Brodax?
Yep.
Robert?
Yep, you're gonna fly it.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna fly all my shit.
I don't think you have any crap. I think yours is pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Sparky's just spoiled. He's got too many good airplanes.
He had a really beautiful big Continental. I don't know what he called it. He had a name for it.
I remember it. Red, white, and blue.
PA-75. And he said, come and fly this thing. And I thought, okay, I'd fly it. And man, it flew nice. And I said, Robert, the lines are too long. A little bit, because when the little wind comes up, you're going to have trouble. That boy went and bought shorter lines right then. He didn't mess around. He saw it too. If everything was perfect, it was good. But at Brodax,
I'm bringing lines with me. A roll of lines. I'm looking for my 100-foot tape now, but I can't find it.
I have to go throw one in.
Yeah, bring that along if you would. That way
Bob's problem is he's got so many good airplanes, he can't decide which one to fly.
That old story about the cowboy that only had one gun that could use it, there's a reason for that.
Yep. Yep. When we used to shoot IDPA, I always used the same gun. And a couple of guys used to ask me, you own a half a dozen guns. I know. Why do you always shoot this one? Because I do well with this one. I hit what I aim at with this one.
But Robert's airplanes are all awful close. He you know,
They're
he got bench trim before he gets there.
I took out.
I never seen him with no junk. I'll put it that way.
I took out my old Junar and flew it the other day, and because you don't think much about it, because it's been refinished, it did gain some weight. I think it's 58 ounces. It don't fly half as good as this one at 53.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Put 5% more nitro and make it up.
15%. I know that.
15% nitro to it, make it more power. It'll come to you.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot. It's if you go up 5% nitro, you have to go up, what is it, 7 or 7.5% in volume to make up for it, because it'll burn faster.
It burns more.
Yeah.
But it makes more power, more chug.
Yeah, it'll make more power, but if you're margin on fuel tank size,
plan
ahead. Matter.
When you fly this one, Joe, you're going to realize there's plenty of power here.
Oh, I don't do that, but I'm saying if the other one's at 4 ounces more is behind a lot, I'd pour nitro to it in a heartbeat. Try to make up.
You gonna bring plans to that one this time?
Up there at your place with that Junar.
You had that orange one at our place that time.
Yeah, I had it, but it had a problem. It had a twisted.
It had a flap that wasn't right, I thought, but I don't know.
And well, I straightened that and fixed the hole in the wing that I put in it. And it got its first hole at your contest.
Yes.
It dropped the damn camera on it.
Yes. Under the tent.
Yeah, that's fixed. And but this one had a hole in it and I fixed it. You can't see it.
I've got another question. If, just out of curiosity, just kind of thinking of this now with the line length, if you went from a cool day to a hot day, if you shorten the line up a little bit, would that kind of compensate for it?
Yes.
You need some more performance in the hot weather. So shortening the line.
Shorten it. Yeah. Okay. I just wondered if that would work. Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to go faster, but you got to live with that. Sometimes you just got to get up on that handle and fly what you got. Yeah. And I'd rather have line tension and power than sloppiness and waviness and not going where I want it to.
Yeah.
If you can't draw circles, you ain't going to win.
Yeah.
Look at Howard. He's doing circles.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, looks like.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah, it is. At Tucson, from Tulsa to Tucson, if you don't go up in nitro, you better shorten the lines 2 feet.
Well, I guarantee you.
I
I guarantee you.
Shorter lines and more nitro at Tucson. And it can, at 8 o'clock in the morning, 10% may be just fine. And at 10 o'clock, you may need 15. And at 11 o'clock, you're going to need 20, in my opinion, for my airplanes.
Well, I never went higher than 15, but you need 15 out there.
I've run 30 out there when that afternoons, lots of times.
Joe, what do you use for paint on the front of your airplanes? Because 30% will strip paint.
Don't get it on it. Automotive clear.
Automotive clear, that figures. I fly old time, so I use dope.
Well, it's got a dope finish, but there's automotive clear on that Ringmaster too. Just a little bit.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do all that. But that thing, I put 15% in one and flew it in the contest and I had a great result, but I also got a white stripe down the side of the fuselage.
Straight up dope, 15 will damage it.
Yeah.
I ate the nose off of Thunderbolt #1 at SIG with 15%.
Yep, it'll do it.
And I'm going to have my new Thunderbolt's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be painted with epoxy, but it sure as heck going to have that rattle can crap that you bust the bottom and, at least back to the leading edge is going to be epoxy or automotive clear or something.
There one Howard.
Yeah, I've got a gallon of.
He was flying, so he must have lost signal or something.
He said his camera got out of battery. He said.
Batteries are great.
Batteries went down.
Yeah,
batteries are great till they run out.
Yeah. When I flew that T6 all over the country forever, I had a set of 60-foot 15s. And when the wind blew, I drug out 58 18s because of the stretch. And it was nothing. I couldn't tell the tip weight. Nothing changed from the 60 15s to the 58 18s.
What plane? What size plane? And what?
It was a T6 motor? Don Hutchison T6 with the Sato 40.
Dihedral in the wings.
Dihedral in the wings. Everything.
4-stroke 40.
First time I met Robert at Brodax, I unloaded my truck and I had that T6 out and Stag sit on the ground. Sparky says, "You flying scale?" And I said, "No, that's my profile stunt ship." And he went, "That?" And just like that. I said, "Yeah." He said, "That can't stunt." And I said, "Shh, don't tell it. They don't know that." It's stunt, wasn't it, Robert?
Yeah, it's a good flying airplane.
In his hand, a rock could be a good flying airplane.
No, that's not true. That's
or a brick.
True. That's not true. But
yeah.
That Sato 40 drug that airplane around pretty good.
I watched it fly more than once, and he could fly that thing. But he flies, like I say, I've seen him fly a Ringmaster and whip full-up stunners and genuinely, honestly whipped them. Yeah. So don't listen to a whole lot of Joe's modesty because he's very modest.
That's
also very good.
Hold on for a second, please. Steve, I'm going to let you end this show. I want to make sure that you can end the show. I'm going to turn you over to be the host.
Okay.
And when you go offline, you end for everyone. It'll say either that or end on YouTube. You want to make sure to kill it on YouTube because I'm going to let this run on YouTube.
And how do I kill it on YouTube?
You'll see it when you push the X out button.
Oh, okay. When I hit end, there's multiple options.
Yeah. Pete says, what Joe says, Joe knows best. And he says,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yellow Mustang will fly well at the team trials. So he's talking about Mike Falco.
Yeah.
As I stated, we got a $20 super chat from Wayne Royce.
Nice.
Well,
thank you for that. Usually they don't have these super chats don't happen much on
Friday
nights or Monday nights even. They very rarely get a super chat on these hangouts. But I've added a new feature which is a ranking. You get an extra badge when the more you participate in the program, and Wayne is number one on the leaderboard right now. So the more that you either contribute or whatever, you go up in the rankings. I want to
Oh,
thank
is that what those number one, number two things were coming up
That's right.
when we make a comment?
Comment or super chat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube and remind you that it helps the metrics if you subscribe, and you also get notifications. There'll be a lot of stuff this summer flying. It's kind of boring when I'm working on different stuff, but a lot of stuff this summer. Brodax is coming up. We'll be streaming, and I'm going to do a video. I'm taking my video equipment with me. So I will see you tomorrow, and Steve will be the host. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Thanks,
Take care, Sparky.
Take care, Sparky.
Oh, shoot. Now I got to get off here.
What is your best flying airplane?
Talking to me?
Yeah. Yep.
Blue Max. One of my Blue
Is
Maxes.
that what you call Big Blue?
No, Big Blue's gone. The wing
Yeah,
came off it too many times.
It's gone, right? You folded a wing or something?
Twice.
Did you ever figure out exactly why that happened?
Too many years and too hard of flying, I think.
Oh, okay.
Flights.
Just old.
It just, I mean, I flew it in all kind of hellacious winds all over the country. It had lots of flights on it. It didn't know me anything, but that rascal was still bone dry inside. I was impressed.
Wow.
When we built that, we put automotive clear all over the inside the fuselage, just covered everything. And that belt crank still had dust on it from when I built it inside. It was clean and dry.
How about that?
Automotive clear is the ticket, man. There's no doubt. I think it's good stuff.
But that's really toxic, right?
What ain't?
Depends which one.
What ain't?
Yeah, it depends on which one. You can get Omni.
That's what I use. I use Omni, but I wear the charcoal mask and all that stuff. I don't.
That's what I wear. Yeah, charcoal mask.
I don't play with it.
So
Is your
nobody's
Blue
using.
Max, is that a Casminato design?
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got
What,
3 of them.
What's the
Only 2 of
power
them.
system in it?
I got one with I got the Kaz airplane I flew in the world is actually Kaz's airplane. He flew it in Perth. And he built me one and shipped it to me, and it got lost in the mail.
Whoa.
So he repainted his personal airplane and brought it to me. And he gave me 3 engines. He said, "This is the engine I flew in Perth. Here's 2 engines broke in. Use what you want. At the end of the world, give me back 2 engines." So I didn't see any sense in using something that wasn't working. So his engine has flown in Perth and France. And it's got a pipe on it. And the other one, it's got a Rojet 67 with just a rear exhaust header out. And it's not a slouch either. It's a good flying airplane too. Lots of people's flown it over the country. Well, but a dozen people fly it probably. If an airplane's easy to fly, they're not in as much danger to let people fly them.
Yeah.
The airplanes are always on the lines and they're always going away from you. They don't turn in.
How many points better is your Blue Max compared to your Ringmaster?
Oh, I'd say 12
Score-wise.
12 or 15 probably.
Over
Maybe
the whole
20.
pattern?
Over the whole pattern of that 576 Ringmaster. The S1 Ringmaster. Oh, I've flown some good patterns at Tucson too. I won Tucson Classic with my Ringmaster.
That's
really
the one I was thinking about. What's the point difference between that and your Blue Max?
Oh, I'd say 15 or 20 probably. But sometimes perception overcomes you a little bit.
Yeah.
The Ringmaster will do a good job. But I was flying the Ringmaster hot and heavy at Brodax, and Kaz brought that Blue Max over. So I got it all hooked up and flew it, and I flew a couple climbs and dives. And I pulled out and inverted, and I flew it 4 or 5 more times and had it feeling pretty good. And went back and flew the Ringmaster the next day, and I come here crashing it because I pulled out. And if I would have been over on that north side, I'd have hit the ground because I could wait on the Blue Max and turn here, and you couldn't wait on the Ringmaster to turn that low. But the perception is that Ringmaster's turning like a cat. It looks like it's turning, but it's short and squat.
Well, it's small. It's so small.
It's going.
Now, is that the S1 or the 576?
The S1. I'm going to
The
fly the
S1.
five. I'm going to fly the S1. I'm going to fly them both, but I'll fly the 570. I won the Brodak Cup one time with that 576 profile against Palco and all of them, whoever up there, whoever's there. It'll fly.
I'm
That
telling you,
576 is an airplane.
I'm telling you, you put a ringmaster in his hands and watch the magic. Just watch the magic.
It ain't that
He
big a
is
deal.
incredible with a
Now,
ringmaster.
I can't remember, Joe. Is the 576 have flaps or not?
Yes, it does.
It does.
His
Okay.
does, mine does not. There's three
Small-
different versions of that
Yeah,
airplane.
there's different versions.
Yeah, I thought there were different versions.
Yep, there is. Mine's an old airplane. Bob Breeze and I built those, I think, in 208. It's getting to be an older airplane.
Well, I finally got plans to the one you have, and I'm going to think real serious about building one. But I have the D model, which is foam wing and full span flaps. And I've got a 576, the P model, the original one. And it's just it's like you could say it's like an S1 scaled up, but that wing is nothing close
the
to an
wing's
S1.
way different. It's thick wing,
Yeah, it's
round
thick,
leading
and
edge.
it's a Tiyasaki wing is what it looks like.
It may be. It's Pat Johnson.
It looks like a
I don't
Tiyasaki
know.
wing with wingtips on it.
And small.
it's,
Mine's got smaller flaps. They're littler. The one Dixon sells has full spans flaps. I think you can cut
it's
4 or
foam
5
wings
inches off
too.
those flaps and glue them on steady and make me better off. It doesn't need as much flap as it's got.
Well,
Is
that's
that
what
a-
I've
is
done to
that a-
mine. After talking to Joe, I think it was 4 inches off each side. It might have been 4.5 off each side, and the rest of it's flapping. And I haven't flown it yet. I haven't finished painting it, but
Is
we'll
that a
soon.
straight leading edge?
Straight leading edge, trailing
Yep.
edge, tapered.
Okay.
And of course, the ribs get littler on the tip quicker, but they start out the same.
So it's
It's got mine's got a leading edge that used about every rib. There's a half rib up there, and you put that in the mold and jig, and you mold the balsa around those half ribs, then back cap it. So it's a baseball bat when you use it and you glue ribs right onto it. But it's a molded leading edge with little stub ribs, in the front of it.
That's
every
what
rib.
mine is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use a buck or anything to mold it. You just mold it using the ribs.
I think we had a jig to put it in. It had a little thing to set it in to make it work. Do you remember that, Phil? Wasn't there little stanchions, I think, with little
I did
set it all
mine.
in.
I made a jig.
Yeah.
I just took a piece of foam and took the center rib and the tip rib and put them on there and just went around it. I put marks on it for halfway and then fourth, and then just tried to keep up and got it close, and then sanded it. It didn't take much, and I got it right. Then I went everywhere there was supposed to be a rib, and I took the wire and just put 2 pieces of just dowel rod in a piece of wood on the table, and just took the wire and went down and then measured that. And it took out about a 1/16. So I'd come over and just next rib, and just go across there. Then if it was too tight, I'd take piece of sandpaper folded, put it down in there and get it where I could put a piece of balsa down in it. And then get all those pieces made to where they fit the buck. So this buck has served to make me all my rib pieces that I needed.
Right.
Then you take and use the same thing with the ribs in it and put the balsa over it and tape it down. Everybody says use ace bandages. Al Raby told me to use bed linen in molding the Bearcat. So that's what I use, an old sheet to store up. And I wrapped that down and let it sit for a day or two, and then went back and took that off and put the other side on there. It's the same thing. It's only one buck, but I made the ribs that go in there, and you go in and you measure and you mark where those ribs go, and they're the half ribs. And then you take your main ribs and lay that on it. But when you lay it on your wing, your ribs come out here. Now this comes over and it just fits.
Okay.
I mean, just
Mine's
absolutely fits.
Mine's built different than that.
But your leading edge is,
We had laser cut nose ribs. And you took a piece of 1/8 inch balsa flat and you glue those to them. Then we had a mold to put over the top and put that balsa down over those and glued it down. We got a baseball bat looking thing, hollow. It's all yours is hollow too once you got it built, but just a different way of getting
tubes and everything.
Just a different way of getting there.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. I gotta
take care, Stuart. I'm gonna get
Have
out of here.
fun flying, Stuart.
Go all right, good night, Stuart.
I gotta check out.
I gotta
too.
go
I'll
charge
see you
some
guys
batteries
later.
before time to go to bed. Take care, y'all.
I don't think this is gonna last later than 10 Central.
10 Central is it for me. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I gotta go charge 8 batteries. Whew.
You gonna go flying tomorrow, Phil?
Yes, sir. 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
Well done.
It's 10:45 here. Tom Looper's gonna be there. Bob, well, I don't know who all's gonna be there. I know Tommy said he's coming, and I'm sure let me see, who else do I know will be there? I think Buddy Barbie will be there, and I think
I like Buddy. He'll be at Brodax, I bet. Buddy will.
Yeah, he's coming with me. We're gonna be up there 3 days.
Good.
All right.
So
yeah, I think we're gonna do some flying here on Sunday. Sundays looks like a better day than Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday at Hobby Park, you get so many you get so many bicycle riders that want to come right up in. They'll ride right up in the circle. What are you doing? Right there next to you. And and then you got the RC people flying, and these guys don't even know what the AMA is. I'm serious. And they don't have any idea, any concept of safety rules or anything else. So they fly right over top of you're flying. I mean, you're flying, you do a wing over, and the guy's flying under your airplane. And then comes over and cusses me out because I nearly hit his airplane.
That's crazy.
You talk about the old boy getting a little upset. If Mr. Looper hadn't been there, we'd have had a meeting of the minds. But
anyway, orbiting Eagles Field in Omaha, there's a running track that's no more than not maybe 10 feet from the outside of one of their circles.
Ooh, that's too close.
It's not that far. It's less than a bike length from the end of the asphalt to the center of the bike circle. Close. I'm not kidding, guys. I used to ride mountain bikes too. And I was amazed how close they put it to the circles.
Man, that's terrible.
It was just nuts. I mean, it was just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And then they went in and put dirt, we don't know where it came from, over our circle that we used to fly combat on. So we got no place to fly anything, doesn't have landing gear anymore, except go out in the middle of the RC circle and fly. Because I found out one of the people that told them, put it over there, flies RC. So now we go out and bug the crap out of them by flying out there in the grass when we have something with no landing gear. And I just tell the guy who's the vice president of the RC club, well, next time you tell the city to put dirt on our circles, you might want to think the radio car circle, the radio car area, nobody's run a race there in 10 years.
Yeah.
But you couldn't put it there. You had them put it up back there on the circles.
Wow.
Dummy. But the bicycle people want that area now. They've run their slaloms over it, and they want to ride bicycles over it. Oh, no, that's part of our court. They've forgotten that Hobby Park was donated to the city as a control line park.
Yeah. We got the same problem here in St. Louis County with Booter Park. It was supposed to be a model aviation park, and now
don't they want to charge you for using that, Mark or Steve?
Yeah. We got to pay $90 for an individual permit for the year, or $6 a day. And then if we want to reserve the entire area for a contest, it's $100 per day.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Just a money grab by the county.
Well, we got a place out here
checking all the time too, huh? They
come and
check your life. They come
and check your life. So we get the permits, right? And we're supposed to display them in the window of our car or truck. Absolutely none of the rangers ever stop to check They drive right by. No, there's
That
no
is-
enforcement. But if there were, it's $1,000 fine.
Oh, mercy.
So you got to do it just in case. But all this
Man,
year,
that's incredible.
yeah, no one's ever checked.
Mm.
So Carl, what you up to? You've been quiet. Because you're muted.
Yeah.
There he is.
Not much. We're just got our new windows installed on our house yesterday, and
Well, that
got
kept
that
you
up.
away from flying, huh?
No, it's just, well, it did because you know, women don't like to be in the house when there's strangers coming in and out of the house, which is understandable, you know, and whatnot. And we only got one car now, so, but the upgrades to the house is done, and so now we're just going to start making preparations to go back down to San Diego to visit with family members and meet up with the other pilots down there and get some airtime.
Well, that's good. What you going to bring down there?
Well, I have these. I have these flying wings that come from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so I get a few of those. One of them has an APS 25 on it. Two of them with it. Well, one with the APS 25, one with the APS 36, one with the Evolution 36 on it. And then I have a foam wing that's got a Magnum 40 on it, XL.
So are those combat planes, or can you stunt with them?
No, they're combat planes mostly.
Oh, okay.
The ones from Ukraine are combat planes. That's what they use for FII.
Oh, okay.
He still flies them pretty well.
Yeah, but
they
then
will
I have
do stunts.
Then I have a Nobler that I'm trying to put back together and with a LA 46 on it.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah. And I was years ago, I was flying that one with Charles, and it was at the end of the day, and it was the last flight. So I started it up, went up and grabbed the handle, and Charles was holding the plane, and I went to go move the controls, and the controls weren't moving. And I'm thinking, man, there's something wrong here. And I went to go tell him, I'm no good. Well, without thinking, I gave the wave off to let go, but the plane hit a clump of grass and just fell over. And what had happened is that the flight before that, it flew it flew well. And then sometime between that flight and I landed it, the control rod broke and went to the elevator.
And, oh, Lord.
So you were lucky on that flight, but then
I was just saying, I was bummed that it broke, but then on the other hand, I was glad that I caught it on the ground and it didn't happen when I was flying it. So
yeah.
So,
I'm telling you.
So I got everything prepared, everything changed out on it. So, and then I had to do some rework on the fuselage because the guy I got it from, I think he had a crash with it, and he just Mickey Moused everything back together. And so all I need to do is just replace the covering that I took off and replace the canopy and get it up in the air.
So you think you can get that done by the time you go to San Diego?
No, I'm not gonna.
If you can't find a canopy for it, let me know. When I go to Brodak, I'll go pick up one. They have canopies for the Gypsy, and you just cut it down, it'll fit.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do have a canopy for it. Matter of fact, Charles, you know how it's got that dotted line around the canopy where you're supposed to cut it? Well, Charles, he's got that heated knife. I forgot what it's called. But he cut that off for me, so it's all ready to go. I just gotta
put it on there, get her going.
Shoe glue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shoe glue, is that what you use?
Shugu, yeah.
Okay.
It's clear. It dries clear.
Okay.
Now Howard's back inside. He's having dinner.
I'm back, and I have a little advice for you young stunners.
All right.
If you put in half a turnip up in your elevator, be sure to test fly it some before you fly it in the contest.
Your neutral is off, wasn't it?
Well, just a little bit. I scared myself on the reverse wing over, pulled out.
I love it.
Uh-oh.
The triangles were about 20 feet high.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
I like
somebody
a little.
else does that.
I like
So
a
how
little bit of down when I'm holding what I think is neutral, because then that airplane doesn't jump into the air.
Oh.
And I'm holding a little bit of back pressure.
Say that again carefully. I want to hear that again.
I want a little bit of down in the elevator when I'm holding what I think is neutral at the handle.
Shorten the bottom line of one wire length.
Yeah. And that way the airplane won't jump into the air. I can control that takeoff better. And then it feels like when I'm flying level that I'm holding back just a little tiny bit. Problem is, once I do the outside stuff, they get smaller. The outside loops and the outside of part of the horizontal 8. So I'm not sure how to overcome that.
Try something, Steve. Get it where it's neutral. I mean, where it is neutral.
Yeah.
And instead of going out and taking off like this, just raise your hand about 6 inches and just raise it up and then put it back where you had it. The plane will lift up and stay right there, and you can get that corkscrew effect a lot easier. Because once you've leveled off at 6 inches high, then you can do it again and again and again and again and get it up to 4 feet in one lap. It makes it so much easier. But if you get it where you got to hold back on it or do something, it's going to mess you up right side up or inverted. It's got to affect the other one.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it affects the inverted, the outside.
I'll tell you what Bob Whiteley told me.
What's that?
Just as it's taking off, take a step forward.
That's right.
Yeah, Joe does that. I've seen him do it, and I have not been able to do that.
I take one as I take off, and I take one as I land because I watched Joe do it.
Yeah.
When you do outside loops, what's it do? Inside loops get littler? What do they?
No, inside loops are fine.
Which one gets littler on the loops?
Outside.
That's got to be a flap elevator or something, man.
Could be, yeah.
Okay, if you fly it level laps, right side up, does it track really good?
Yes.
Inverted, does it track really, really good?
Yes.
It's a handle. It's a handle neutral position, I think.
Yeah. Now I've been trying to move the down line up closer to the center of the handle to try to overcome that. It doesn't seem to work.
I don't think that's the right thing. I think your neutral's not right. If you do a square and you pop up, you pop neutral, does it come back neutral or is it diving or climbing? Just go out and do some climbs.
When I do it right.
But
when I do it right, it's straight.
But if your neutral's not right, you can go do some climbs and dives and pop and just pop. And your natural pop, if it's climbing or diving, you got to fix your neutral.
Yeah.
Because if you're neutral,
if you've got it where you've got to hold where when you're holding it level, it's got some down in it, stay on the ground. Then when you're flying, you're going to have to hold some up in it.
A little bit.
Yeah, just
the ground. A little tiny
when you
bit.
get it inverted, you're going to have to hold the opposite, or it's going to try to climb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just throwing your neutral off. Just set your neutral where it's neutral and then take off by raising your hand. That's I had that problem years ago in loop straighten me out. Of course,
Yeah.
he had to get up in my face to do it, but after that, I learned to listen to the man. But
Yeah, I got to play with that because it's if I go too far the other way, that airplane just pops up in the air.
Well, you can sure. I start out with a kiss of down on everything I own. I'm a kiss of down.
A kiss of down, yeah.
Kiss it down, and I walk with it, and I just raise my hand like he says. Well,
and that, yeah, my takeoffs have been fine.
But my neutral, I don't hold pinky pressure or finger pressure for neutral. If you're holding pinky pressure or finger pressure to hold it level flight, if you're holding pressure on your top finger, make that line shorter to fly level. If you're holding pressure on your bottom finger to hold it level, make that line of wire a little closer.
Yeah.
To get that neutral to be where it wants to be. That sounds bass accurate, but it might help you. Try it and see.
No, it works. That works. But I just, if you've got to hold up or down to hold it neutral, then you're not neutral. Sure. Learn to work with it. Don't try to fix a takeoff with something that's going to affect the whole flight, because now you're affecting every maneuver you do.
Yeah,
just learn to take off. Just learn, if need be, hold your hand down a touch for takeoff. And when that tail comes up, find neutral, and then just let it go a little bit and just pull your hand up. Just take it up right back where it was. And I mean, this right here, just doing that right there on most of my airplanes, you'll get a.
You can fly.
You can do a lot of that. That's the way I teach people to fly. Is I tell them, don't move your hand. Don't even move your wrist at all. Just raise your hand or lower your hand. And I'll get them to do 2 or 3 times where that's all we do, 2 or 3 flights. And then I say, all right, let's work into a climb. And then I'll say, use your wrist. And I use your wrist, leave your arm in the same position, and let's do a little wrist action and follow it around, do a loop. And then just, that's the way I teach people. And it seems to be working. But
okay,
if you've got to hold something to hold it neutral, up or down, you're beating yourself up for nothing.
Something you can do to keep off the ground is to angle the gear in toward the inside of the circle.
That's right.
That's true.
Set the gear like that. 2 degrees in.
You know, I saw a firecracker and I couldn't believe that gear was, I mean, that gear was crazy tilted.
Oh. We must have all
but
that.
That plane flew so nose out. And he said, well, where that plane was designed to fly is Australia, and they don't have 5-mile-an-hour winds. They have 15. Anything much more than 15, I pack up and go home.
When you're flying in wind, and if your nose is out a whole bunch and you land, it's just going to hit and skip every time because you're hitting the gear side.
Yeah. You got to walk with it if you're going to land it. If it's sideways, you got to go with it.
Yeah.
If you see your tires on your airplane wearing real bad on one side, you know you're dragging it.
That's right.
Why?
I've run into that.
Why would you put your wheels slanted towards the inside?
Because the nose
always roll with the inside
out.
of the circle.
Because
everybody starts out thinking you need to. Okay, I'm talking too loud. Everybody thinks you need to start out with those wheels pointed out to get the line tension. No, you're going around a circle, man. It's naturally going to the outside. Have it to where it tracks with the circle. Take it. Tom Looper always takes his planes and he'll come out there and he'll push the plane. And if it don't follow that circle, he works on the wheels until it does. And it looks like it's trying to follow a little bit of a circle. Now, not much. It's not going to, it only pushes it 4 or 5 feet, but it should track just a little bit to the left. That way, when it touches down, you got to remember that plane's coming around a circle. When it touches down, the wheels are more with the circle than they are outbound. Now, I have play in my wheels. So when they land, they'll kind of on their own track with the circle. But you also have to, huh?
You drill the centers out and make them big?
No, I'll tell you a secret that I learned. I use wheels that are set for 1/8 inch wire, and I use 332. The gear gives, you land in Nobler, you land it, you see the gear give, but it comes back down, and you just absorb the bounce. You also automatically got a little give in those wheels, so it tracks straight. It took me a while to learn that, but
There was a
anyway,
guy
it
in
works.
Joplin years ago that designed some airplanes, and he had gears that had, instead of the gear being like this, the gears were real flat and out.
Yeah.
And that gear just kind of soaked up stuff without rebounding much. Ken was his name. His wife even judged some around, I think. It was before my time, but I met him, but I didn't. Let me think.
Well, a lot of our
Joplin,
planes,
Missouri.
Stinger's like that. It's got a
I
long
think I know who you're
332
talking
gear
about, and I can't
that
think of
soaks
his
up
name.
the.
His wife was Arlene, maybe, and she judged, I think.
You're talking about Ken
Nash.
Grasser.
Ken Nash was his
Nash.
name.
Ken Nash.
Ken
That's
Nash.
it. Yeah.
He and his wife.
Yeah.
And he had his
She is
airplanes had gears like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Instead of being up, they were
Yeah.
flat. Always had wheel pants, always had bolts on them. But that would land and soak up stuff, you know.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
It landed west. Tiasaki's like that. Got a soft gear that soaks up. We got a couple of guys that fly those, used to fly those locally, and God, they couldn't land. I mean, they'd fly the thing till it's 2 feet high, and then they thought they'd give up. And I mean, you can't do that. You got to fly it till it touches down.
Yeah.
Well, they watched me fly Tiasaki, and how do you land a Tiasaki like that? That thing always, and yours never, mine, he says, mine always, it lands in the landing gear, boingy, boingy, and it comes down. Well, you got to learn to fly it on the ground. You don't stop when it's 2 feet high.
It's all about the rate of descent.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that thing, you got to remember, a Tiasaki is a slow combat plane with a landing gear on it. That's what it really is.
John,
but gosh,
what you got?
Good.
You heading
Good
out?
night. No, it's after 11 here in Michigan, and I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to leave.
Good to
I'm
see
gonna
you,
have to
John.
leave too, guys. I still got to charge 8 batteries.
All
Have a great
right.
one. I'll see you Monday.
I think I'm going to end it then.
Good seeing everyone.
Thank everybody.
You too, Joe. Looking forward to
you.
seeing you in the better half at
Won't be long.
Brodak.
We'll
And
see you
Howard,
next
take
week.
care of yourself, buddy.
Bye.
All right. What does Sparky say? Tight lines.
Tight
See ya.
line. Fair winds.
Fair winds. Tight lines. See ya.
All right.